And
Right.
we're live. Hello, I'm Anavultus, and welcome to an amazing podcast with a lot of random people today. So please introduce yourselves, everyone.
G'day, Mick.
Hi, I'm Jesus Milk, and I'm going to change my profile picture because it's probably inappropriate. Sorry, it's been a while since I've been on Skype, so changing it now. Anyway, carry on.
All right. Next, we have our classic Mourad.
Yeah, hello, buddy. I'm the host, Motherfussy. As always, we've been doing this 33 times now. I swear to God, I thought we would have been shut down by episode 5. But looks like people enjoy it, and Anavultus somehow hasn't killed himself yet, even though I have tried to make him kill himself. But yeah, let's continue.
Yeah.
Seriously, if you haven't cringed so hard you died, then you ain't human by episode 33.
Yeah. For example, those 2 episodes in a row where I peed live on stream.
Yeah, I actually almost killed myself that time because I swear to God, we couldn't have made it worse, and somehow we did. I
Yeah.
don't know how, but we made it
I
worse.
really need to pee right now. I hate you for this.
If you have to pee in a
a
glass,
cup.
and then if we get
Use
enough
a
likes,
cup
you
and
should
drink
drink it.
Yeah,
Yep,
Get-
okay,
get-
yeah.
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 I've been
Yeah,
wanting
this
that bad
Sounds
for some
tense.
reason.
Yeah, that's the rule on this stream. If you pee, you have to drink it.
Sounds good. So
I'm
what's the
joking.
stream usually about anyway? No, I'm not going to. You guys can go suck my
Uh,
balls for that.
It,
So I'm aware.
Freezing.
I'm the
Yeah,
center,
make it hit it.
I'm the center of attention right now. So what's the stream usually about?
random stuff. We've
Yeah, to be honest, we still don't know.
sometimes it's about anime, sometimes it's about dank memes, sometimes it's about issues relating to homosexuality.
Okay, so we've
That's
got 3
interesting
people
concept.
here. Yep, we've got 3 people here. Which country are we from? So I'm from Australia. Where are you guys from?
I'm currently
Well-
in the US, originally from Germany though.
Okay, how long you been in the US for?
About 10 years.
Okay, so you're basically American. Yep. So we've got American and Australian and who else?
That would be me, Mick, and I'm an Aussie as well.
Okay, where are you, east or west?
East, mate, home of the Panthers.
And Mourad is
in-
he's from Morocco.
You should have let him guess that, but sure, I guess.
No, we got
Fuck,
told that before he joined anyway.
Yeah,
Moroccan.
Yeah, well,
down in
Yeah.
Africa.
Yeah, down in Africa, just quickly Googling where the fuck more. Oh my god, you're in that shithole.
Uh,
I'm glad.
I
that
can't
somebody
be mad
passed
at
geography.
that statement because you ain't lying, fam. But
Yeah, I know.
just-
Like, holy shit.
Yeah,
I just
but
googled
here's
where
the
it is.
good
It's like
part.
it's that bridge where all the Africans go to for Spain. Oh,
Yeah.
you
Uh,
terrible person.
here's the good part about that. I made sure
Yeah,
that if I was ever gonna stay in that side of the country, I was gonna go to the village, like the Naruto village, and luckily we made it. I'm in
Oh,
one
yeah.
of the cleaner places.
Oh, that's good. Then.
It's actually a legitimate village. We don't even have skyscrapers, no pollution, about 50 cherry trees. I swear to God, I thought they were from Japan when I first started. We moved to the max, and to be honest, no borders. Surprisingly, like no walls, just mountainside and a fuck ton of goats. Okay, I'm telling you, necrophilia and goat doing it, I guess, is a lot popular, like a lot more popular here than you would believe. And it was one of the worst parts about this, but it was a willing sacrifice for no pollution.
Yeah,
Really?
Seriously, not Google Morocco goats. Okay, you will find
So,
the shittiest bestiality you have ever seen. Do not, I repeat, don't.
how much for a donkey show? That's what I'm curious about.
What? How much for what?
A donkey show. I want to see a girl get
Oh
blow
god,
donkey and get fucked by donkey. How much?
Okay.
Sorry,
here's-
but this stream is not going to get monetized. But if he's bringing up
Facts.
bestiality, I need to know these facts.
all right.
If
all
I'm
right,
having a bachelor's night
Listen.
in this country, it's
listen, how
happening.
much you think it is? How much?
I
do
don't
you
know.
$1.
How
What?
$1 US.
How
of a
how
dollar?
poor are you guys? How poor are you
My
guys?
goodness, holy shit. You're not that far off. Okay. Uh, I would say about maybe at most $20.
Are you fucking serious?
But like for 5 females.
What?
Don't ask how I know that.
What?
That's like what,
So what
$9
you think?
something.
Fucking
It's $9 something for five.
Oh
I
come
can
on,
literally.
you don't see 5 females go down on a horse? Why do I know that?
Okay, so
Damn,
question.
you're giving me some
Question.
PTSD, man. I just
If
remember
I
one very painful day,
if
and
I
that
want
was
to
I
dress up,
swear to God, I should really forget this. Yeah, what up?
question. If I want to dress up as a rich man and have my own battle royale system going on and have a group of people fight to each other to the death, mainly females with giant
Why
dildos.
would you-
Let me finish. Let me finish. You
Oh,
invited
let
me
me
onto your
finish.
stream.
Yeah, but I didn't
Um,
invite you there.
well, I got added, so
Oh, there we
fuck you,
go.
cunt. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
fuck you
happened.
too.
Yeah, I love you. Um, so how much would it cost me to pay
Yeah.
for 5 people's lives?
Not that much. At most, maybe $100. Probably less.
I
Like I'm not
don't
even
know if
lying.
he's lying or not. I don't
Like,
know.
damn, I wish I was lying. These niggas, they countryside homies. They
Okay, you
would do
said
this shit
niggas.
for a
I can
local
say
friend.
whatever I want
Okay?
now. You said the nigga word.
What? What?
You said niggas. I can say whatever I want now. Like, I mean, the worst word that could possibly be said, it's just been said. So I'm
What?
in full brain now.
What was the
Jesus.
worst word that could possibly be said?
He doesn't
Niggas.
know about the ways.
The ways of what? The sus?
Do you know the way?
Okay, so on YouTube, I don't know if you're like familiar with YouTube, but if you say nigger,
Yeah, it's all
like
up.
it
Game
echoes, it
over.
echoes. I am being echoed across through the soundboard right now. It's amazing. Like I'm like a sonic wave, really, through the electronical means. This nigger is being echoed across,
Hmm.
and it is butt hurting so many niggers. It's great.
He says
Like
it
Uh,
10 times
never,
a minute.
never
wait, you
have
mean me or
ever
him?
word nigger hurt so many niggers in their own defense. It's beautiful. It's like they're stabbing themselves with their own sword.
How do you even do that? Actually, never mind. This is the internet. They probably already do. But yeah, why do you need 5 lives exactly? Because I need context behind that story. Because if I'm going to
He
tell
want
you the
he
pricing,
wants them to fight with giant dildos. That's what he wants.
wait, run that back.
Right,
You want to
battle.
fight a giant dildo? How does that work? Because I'm
Okay,
intrigued.
I'm gonna
'Cause
be
if
honest.
you want, I can
I'm gonna be
ask the homie down
If
south. You know?
if if I wasn't born in a liberal like place, I
Yeah.
probably would be Joffrey in a like royal area. Like I would be Joffrey from
Game of
Game of
Thrones.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, I'm
Never
sorry.
watched
Trying
it.
to come up with a
Too much
better-
hentai for me. I never understood the plot with the dragons.
No,
Never
it's still
watched
the
Game of
second.
Thrones.
But like just seeing like how far I can push people and shit like that, and how far I can corrupt them and shit. Yeah, I'd probably be Joffrey. But then again, also I would only do that to the bitches that are on the lower class system that were probably gonna die from scurvy anyway, and I would like
What? So you're gonna put them on boats first? You're gonna send them on the
no,
ocean, put them on boats, so
I'll,
they don't have any vegetables.
no. I would flourish. The people in my country will flourish, and they will be prosperous.
Somehow
And
that
Prosperous.
makes sense.
and
Yeah, I don't get it either.
I'll probably only do this to the immigrants. So happy days. And only let 1 out
Sure.
of 10 immigrants survive, so they go back to the country and tell them, "Don't ever come to this country." And
What
you
if
guys,
war comes to the country instead?
then I've got a lot more slaves.
So you're
This
Qatar.
is a really weird conversation today.
So
Okay.
you basically want to be Qatar. That's what you're saying.
No, I am my own person. If Qatar
Basically
wants
Qatar.
to be like me, that's up to Qatar.
You're essentially Qatar.
Well, you
Gonna
don't know
hold
that.
you, gonna hold you as slaves, and you can never leave my country. Forced labor for everybody. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, pass me your passports.
Nice passport, my
Weird
dude.
ass conversation, man.
I'm.
And kind of offensive to me in a way, but sure, I
Why?
guess.
Where are you from?
Uh,
Oh wait, I know where you're from. Why are you offended to this?
What? You mean
Why do you
Why
have?
you
Why do you have offenses? I'm Australian. I'm slightly intoxicated. Fuck you, little shit.
fuck off, cunt?
Ah, suck my nuts.
somehow getting gayer? Okay, this is a weird ass conversation. I thought I was
Anyway,
weird, but no, you guys
You're gonna
beat me.
say, why does this offend you?
To be honest, not as much as you think. I just find it kind of weird, the whole slavery thing. Nothing, just the immigration, slavery, and the whole border bullshit. Trust me, each week we hear about this Donald Trump looking motherfucker with the hairline of a faggot, and always with the walls. I don't get the idea behind him, but he keeps supporting Israel in some fucking kingdom style war with our neighbors, which is why I got offended for a sec. I thought you were pro bordering? I don't know. It was kind of weird.
Walls.
I
It's
am
kind of
pro-border.
Israel doesn't have a
know.
border with Morocco. I keep telling you that.
If you put a
What? You
policy
keep telling me
in
what, fam?
place,
He doesn't know that Israel doesn't have a border with Morocco.
It doesn't though. There's a border with Jordan and Iran and Palestine.
I'll be back
Isn't
in
it?
2 minutes. I'm gonna chuck a piss.
Use a cup.
Oh.
He thought Morocco was next to France.
God damn it, what's this? To be honest, neat
Dude,
lifestyle. You know, you don't leave the
Did you
house.
like pass geography? Just asking.
To be honest, yes and no.
there was
Here's
no
what
yes
I
and
mean
no
by
answer.
that. Technically, yes, because I passed all my classes. But when it means like legitimate geography, no. Because besides World War II, they didn't teach us shit.
Oh.
So yeah,
That's your school's. That's your school problem then.
yeah, our schools kind of suck, but not as much as the U.S. You know. Yeah.
I don't know. At
yeah.
least I know where Israel is.
that
I never needed
That's
to know how
really
the
hoping a
information
lot.
they taught us. It was kind of
Yeah.
useless info, to be real.
You got
That
it
and kind of
borders.
stupid and a bit outdated, yeah.
What do you mean? You could just do a simple Google search and it tells you right here. Israel borders Jordan.
True, but don't really need that kind of info. Never
Uh,
gonna leave this country anyway. But if I do, I will come to Anavultus' house first and then
Why?
kill him. You know why, you motherfucker. We do this for 30 episodes. You think I don't want to kill you by this point? You already know why.
So
At
what
least you
dangerous
should.
animals are in Morocco?
What dangerous animals, money?
Yep. What dangerous
Besides the goats that
animals?
scarred us, all of us, at least at some point, right? We have one of the top 3 most dangerous we've ever met, which are, besides goats, we have mountain lions, you know, the Gucci gang ones from Lion King. Let's see, what else? We have, for some weird-ass reason, sheep. I don't know why. I mean, we're farmers, we herd sheep, but somehow they have a war with us at the same time. They scary as shit, and they keep fighting most of us. Don't know how. Maybe niggas were tripping at farming school. But yeah, goats, lions, and sheep. And maybe panthers if we ever find some. But besides those, no. Actually, contrary to popular belief, elephants aren't even dangerous. To us, at least. We treat them kind of like dogs in the U.S. I mean, it depends. If you fuck it up and tripping, you're gonna get stomped over, obviously. But like, if you have a real connection, then no, you ain't Gucci. You know, for us, it's like the animal whisperers. You know, as long as you're cool with the animals.
So basically,
I think
you're telling me.
Yeah, what up?
Hold on. You're telling me the elephants only attack you if you touch their private parts.
Bullshit.
Wait, only attack us because what? Didn't hear you there, fam.
He was being coy. But anyway, you're relating all elephants, the same. I know I slipped.
Not really.
But
not all
no,
elephants.
because they're completely different.
Some of them
elephants
are legitimately dangerous.
Yes, they are. Like, I mean, if you go to India,
Yeah.
fuckloads of elephants around there are dangerous.
Yeah,
I don't know the race.
I don't. Pretty goddamn lit.
I don't know the race of the elephants that are there.
Asian
like, I mean,
elephant.
Well, if we want to go with that, then we can. Yeah. So the
That's
Asian
because
elephant.
that's what they are in Asia, therefore they are Asian elephants.
Okay, so the Asian elephants are like
There we go then.
racist as fuck to the white people. No, the white people. Sorry, the Asian people. The racist as fuck to the Asian people, and they want to kill them all off, and they act like it. So therefore, we should genocide them and harvest their tusks like the Chinese are doing.
A bit on the nose on that one.
Bit
Maybe.
extreme.
I mean, I know some people that have the same idea, but for most of us, nah, we Gucci with the elephants. It's kind of like
Well,
dogs and wolves
but
in
can't
the
you
fact
cut a
that
little
unless you
the
piss
tusks?
them off, then they won't attack you. So more often than not, when they do attack people, it's more your fault than anyone else. You know what I mean? So
Oh
yeah.
yeah, clearly.
No, that-
the
that
elephant
is-
comes
Look,
charging
I'm
at you.
not
It's
gonna
your
be.
fault for
I'm not
standing
gonna
there.
sit here and pretend that all elephants are Jesus or some shit. No, some of them kill us. Facts. But more often than not,
Jesus
let's
killed
be
people.
real, it is their fault. You know, like the people's fault.
Yeah, it's
Look,
their
as
fault
far
for
as
standing
I'm
there.
concerned,
Clearly.
Okay. As far as
I mean-
I'm concerned, no elephants have ever hurt me. Okay. I've hanged out with them, with giraffes, with zebras for some weird reason. They were kind of gay. I hanged out with wolves, a couple dogs, some cats, and one goat that scarred me, but never again. But yeah, and none of them even dared hurt me. Instead, all they did was pat me, and I patted them, and we just kind of hanged out, you know?
Do
No
you think-
hostility ever. What up?
Do you think you could box a kangaroo and live to tell a tale?
Yes, my nigga. We will try that shit. I actually wanted to try it for so long, but I couldn't. You know, they were Muhammad Ali over there, my nigga. They will box your ass cheeks, bro. They got armament hockey, observation hockey, all the shits. Okay, they got Nen, every goddamn anime power. Trust me, I've seen some of my friends try to box them, and they got fucking stomped on literally within a minute. I don't know how. Okay, I literally don't know how. Maybe because they skinny as shit, but they will
Kangaroos
literally
aren't skinny. They're
the
massive.
fucking ones they thought were skinny or some shit. They literally
No, mate.
swung at
Kangaroos
them.
are massive.
You know, like stole the shit out of them like 50 times before they even threw a punch, and they were just down for the count. And then they got stomped on like goddamn bitches. And I had to stop it because I swear to God they were about to get raped as well. So I had to stop the fight. It was funny as fuck. That's what you get when you mess with kangaroos. But no, I
How'd you
just
stop
want to
a
try.
How would you stop it?
What, stop the fight? But you gotta let your friends take the L, you know, especially if it's by kangaroos. You can't just stop the fight. You gotta watch that shit. Let them embarrass themselves, film it, put it on World Star, and then wait just before they start to get ready, and then stop the fight. That's how we do it over here, you know.
No, you just let it
Gotta make your own
continue.
entertainment, okay? You know,
Usually just let it continue. Just keep it going for like an hour or two.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh well. But I would like to fight an actual panther. That would be a really cool fight. Not like fist to fist. Either race it, or with a knife. You know. Just
I don't
get a
think you
dagger.
could beat a panther because of your legs.
Oh yeah, but like I said, I would love to try. But maybe if I could be bionic legs,
Well,
then
Hold on.
I could beat that thing's ass.
You're in Morocco, yeah.
Yeah. What up?
Just drive from Morocco to like
What,
Where
the
is it?
outskirts of South Africa? Probably a lot of them there.
yeah,
Or the middle of the country. They do have some of them there.
yeah. They got leopards there. So go in like the middle of Algeria or Mali or
I
Chad.
will. Trust me, fam. I will. Just gotta get them
Yeah.
bionic
Just
legs
watch out
first,
for
you know?
Boko Haram.
Watch out
Yeah.
for what?
Boko
What's
Haram.
that? I don't know what
It's
that is.
a organization that's
Yeah?
waging a war.
Against everyone.
Oh shit! So those were the niggas I was talking about. I mistook those for Israelites or some shit like that. Yeah. Sorry
God.
about that. You see, here's the thing. I hear a lot about these niggas, but they never say the fucking name. They just say some of them are hiding in Israel, and that's all the info they have.
What?
So that's why I thought they were there. Look, don't ask.
Holy
The
shit,
Moroccan
dude, you-
news is bullshit. Okay, I never really watch it. It's worse than Fox News, half the time. The other half they talk about goat raping, which is kind of funny, which is what I watch. But don't, I don't know how, but they keep making it on the news.
What are you
Niggas
telling
tripping.
me that goat rapes are that
What?
immense there that it makes the news?
Yes, because sometimes, especially with tourists, they don't know what they're messing with until they get literally, and I mean literally, right, a horn shoved right up their ass. Don't ask how. For some fucking reason, some tourists thought, hey, goats are the same as fucking bulls. Let's just, try to Mexican standoff their asses. And they got fucking shoved right up there. I don't know how. It made me laugh when I was a kid and kind of scarred me a little bit because that's why I don't mess with goats. But yeah, it was really funny. And for some reason, it keeps happening.
Is that why your goats climb trees? They can get the drop of people? And
Climb
got
a mountain,
attacked by a goat.
okay? If you're ever going to climb a mountain in this countryside, always take at least 3 experienced farmers, okay? Never go alone, all right? If you do that, you will fucking die. Okay, I'm going to tell you a story that legitimately happened and was on the news. I helped with the case. All right, here's the thing. There were five, I think there were five tourists from the U.S. Okay, two white girls who were always tripping, and three homies. Okay, two brothers, one homie, just on the side. Fam, not a brother. Difference. All right. So what happened was they wanted to climb. I think it was something. Okay, I don't know the name in English. It's just a mountainside in my city. Okay, they wanted to climb it. Now, when they fucked up was that mountain. Okay, was chapped. By that I mean it was like clean cut in half, and then some rubble was falling every day, especially when it rains. So you really need an experienced person, so you don't cause a fucking avalanche. All right. They were tripping and thought, hey, white people, let's just climb a mountain for fun with no gear. Okay, they had no gear and no guides, and for some reason, the fucking idiots didn't take no med kit, no nothing. They just climbed it. We do have stairs for tourists that don't know how to climb mountains for them to climb that. So they thought that because they had those, it was Gucci. Guess what happened?
The goats raped them.
Oh, close. No. One of them died because of a goat. So here's what happened. The white girls were doing white girl based things and just taking selfies with fucking goats and laughing. The three brothers, okay, one was trying to get the pootie wop by who was the fuckboy of the group and was hanging out with the two girls. Now the two brothers were fucking up and trying to climb the mountain as it was pretty much fucking cascading and falling down, kind of like an avalanche, but without the soft snow. So yeah, they were climbing that shit and they were fucking up with the goats because the goats were not with it. Okay, you don't fuck with these niggas. And the goats did the goat thing and literally climbed the mountain and kicked like a fucking huge ass boulder down on their ass. Now one of them got hit with the rock on straight to the back of the head. Got hit from the back, as the goats say. Right? He got hit from the back and then fell straight fucking down the mountain. And the brothers, of course, the brother was screaming because he needed his homie back. The fuck boy just ran, and the two white girls, they just started fucking yelling rape and shit and left. Hold up, someone's calling. I'll finish this later. No. Yeah, what up?
Yeah, that sounds totally legit.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it has a lot of stories to tell. Apparently, every other week, he apparently ends up in a situation where he somehow is involved in some sort of assault or something.
Sorry, guys, I have an escort mission. I'll come back and finish the story in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So entertain yourselves while you're at it.
Last week, I had to
escorts.
Last week, I had to explain to him that as a Muslim, he shouldn't be drawing pictures of Allah.
Nigga, can you shut the fuck up, okay? Why did he try to embarrass the homie without talking about your bullshit, okay? I don't want to embarrass you with the piss thing, but I can totally tell them the truth about what happened to you last night, all right?
Last night? What? What happened to me last night?
You got raped by a gut. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, though, I do have some embarrassing stories of you roomscape loving motherfucker. I will come back and I will tell them the story. The one about I forgot what the context.
It's only me in here considering the other guy left.
Yeah.
Oh damn, the British man left? Really?
Australian.
Oh, same thing. Okay, kind of sad, but sure. I guess we'll hit him back later. But all right, I'll tell the story of you when I come back, Mister Piss in the Cup.
Yeah. Weird things always
Jesus
happen.
talks a lot of shit.
Yeah. Sometimes we have political discussions.
But clearly, he just wants to talk about goats killing people, which I'm looking on Google right now and I can't find any record of.
Yeah, I think a lot of the stuff he says is made up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I thought this was going to be a decent. Oh, I thought it was going to say something awesome, but just shit.
Yeah.
So, where are you from? States.
It's from Germany.
Oh, you're from Germany.
Yeah. English is my third language.
What's your second?
Italian.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
I developed a new type of political system.
What's that?
It involves a type of devolution, but also in a democratic system. However, there is an avoidance of direct democracy through creating a democratic hierarchy that is based on infraorders of magisteria.
Okay.
Yeah,
I am way too drunk to understand that right now.
yeah. So essentially, what it means is that the local government has a large amount of economic and social authority, which allows competition to exist between local communities in regards to their economic systems, and and therefore people can vote for their local governments, but they can't vote for higher levels of governments, which are instead elected by the governments that are the local governments that.
That sounds pretty well. So basically, you're saying that you'll only vote for state, not federal.
No, no, no. That's not what I'm saying. State is not local. When I say local, what I mean is municipal.
Uh,
As in a community of a few thousand people.
hmm. And you reckon that will breed competition between communities?
Yes, because it would encourage communities to, uh, first of all, affect their own economy, because the problem that I see with large democracies is that individuals can vote for economic interests that are contrary to those of their community, in the sense that, for example, I could vote for someone's economy to change on the other side of a country which has different economic interests, which I see as a problem.
Well, people do that in Germany?
Uh, well, I'm in the U.S. right now, but that's
Oh,
they do that in Germany as well, in the sense that if you live on one end of a country, you can vote for decisions that affect regulations on the other end of a country.
well, that happens everywhere, though, dude.
Yeah, and I think that the problem is that economic interests are very diverse. So I think it makes more sense to decentralize that. And then, therefore, that creates a type of competition between communities to create effective economic systems.
I'll have to think about that when when I'm not sleepy and been drinking.
Yeah.
What y'all niggas doing?
We were talking about political structure.
Of what? The Nazis?
Of Morocco, how we're going to take over Morocco and set you guys free
Oh,
from the
that,
terror.
that shit is really easy. It's simple. Take some guns, okay? Go to the goddamn palace where the king is, all right? Instead of shooting up the place, just make one of those, what do they call it? Truces, right? Shoot the king in the face, and then the entire country goes to shit. Simple as that. No, seriously, if you kill the king, everyone's fucked. But yeah, kind of like the U.S. If you shoot their president, except it's backwards, no one dies. Instead, they just pull out their guns and start shooting you. But yeah, oh well. So you were talking about some sort of painting of religious figures last time I left.
No.
What? What? Dude. No.
Yeah, whatever.
Who's saying how much he wants to wrestle a jaguar?
Me or him?
Him.
Oh yeah, he has martial arts skills. He probably can.
I don't know. I think it would probably be very tough for me to fight a jaguar.
Really? Really, my nigga? You keep bragging about being a martial art master and trolling all of your students, yet you can't beat a single jaguar?
Well, I'm not
Really,
saying
man?
that I wouldn't be able to win. I'm just saying that it would be difficult.
It'll be difficult for the giant cat.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're bringing a gun or a knife. Or just shoot in the face. That's always seems to work.
I don't know if a knife would help you out in that situation.
I mean, unless the jaguar can dodge bullets, you know?
What
Who
you
knows?
really need is a boar spear. That's a spear that has a bit of a crossbar near the tip, so that you stab it and it can't
Yep.
get close to you.
Always in the tip, yeah. Oh well. So, want to play a game? I mean, I know we can't because last time, but like, want to at least
Could use a
attempt to play something?
could use a boomerang as well if we needed to.
What's a woobera?
No, boomerang.
What's a rumor?
It's like so. It's similar to what's the best way to describe it? Basically, it's like a handle where you put a spear in. It's an Aboriginal hunting weapon.
Yeah.
And so you know how you usually throw a spear, you have the spear above your shoulder and you throw the spear. What this does is you hold it like it looks like a pistol grip. So you hold this thing like a pistol grip and it goes an L shape to the back of your to the top of your elbow, and you attach your spear in it and you throw it like a normal spear, but at the very end
Sounds like you're mixing a crossbow and a rocket launcher together.
crossbows uses strings and stuff. This
So-
is all momentum.
So this is similar to an atlatl.
Yep, very similar to an atolol. Very similar.
Okay.
Yeah. And you know, at the very end, you flick your wrist, and it goes double the distance of a normal thrown spear. And it was used by Australian Aboriginals to hunt kangaroos
Yeah.
and emus.
The Great
It's called
Emu
the
War.
boomerang. Yeah, we lost that one.
Yeah, unfortunate. Real. Yeah, you can't always
You
win
know,
it all.
If you look it up, there's actually a person called, not person, but an emu called Lord High Emu.
Yeah.
They actually gave an emu a title, Lord High Emu,
Why did they give it a title?
because they're dumbasses.
Uh,
Want to invite more people? Or are
probably.
you out of friends?
Probably won't work.
Why? You can't have more than friends?
Well, no,
on a
it's
Discord
people are
chat?
already in conversations. It's probably hard to just jump in and
Pop in.
and
Yep.
pull in a bunch of people. So, do you have any particular opinions on anime?
Are talking to me or him?
Both of you.
You already know my answer.
I feel that they're not as good as they once were. The stories are lacking. Yeah, okay, they have good visuals, but they don't have the same depth to them.
It's the curse of the one season. That's what I like to call it. Where just like with movies nowadays, they're trying to just get in a quota instead of actually making a good show. So they kind of just pull out the same shit that they used to do 10 years ago. It's like memes. They just try to recycle them in different forms. I like the isekai genre, which I like, but more often than not, it's just the same story 5,000 times. and the whole harem thing. This just sounds like wish fulfillment for faggots.
So the
So,
solution would be to perhaps get better writing on that.
that's the funny part.
But
It
I think
seems
they're all
like more often than
stagnant.
not, it
They're
seems
all
like more often than
stagnant.
not, the writing isn't the problem. The problem is the dedication. You know what I mean? Because you can have good writers, but if all they want is the paycheck, right? Just like with movies, they can just spew out whatever the fuck they think people like
Okay,
nowadays
let
and just make
let him
that the
speak.
story. Who? Me or him?
Him, Mick
Yeah,
Blue.
sure, talk, man. I got no problems.
Oh, I was just saying that it's not. It's stagnant. It's just stagnating. You get like shit, like I said before, in the previous chat. What are some of the biggest ones of this year? What, Guts from Berserk, which was from 1990, I think it was, and they just remade it. You got Shield Hero, and that was the whole political Me Too thing, which shocked people because, oh my god, false claim of rape is such a bad
That's
thing.
actually that was the funniest thing this season for me because of the simplified factor that I read the manga, right? So I
Hmm.
already knew the story ahead of time. And the funny thing was, in the fucking light novel and manga, right? The whole rape thing was just a one sentence thing that females used to get you in trouble, and then they just passed it in the manga like it was nothing. But in the anime, because of the whole Me Too movement and shit, right? That got focused on so much that they forgot about the plot of the anime and just focused on feminism for like 20 episodes. It was really funny because that's exactly what I said to Anavultus last week. They make such a big deal out of a non-issue, you know,
It's not a
which kind
non-issue. It's if that actually happened, if that happened to you today, yeah, you got falsely accused of something, bang,
yeah.
there goes your job. There goes any standing that you ever had, even though it's been proven to be fake.
True. I mean, let's be real. I'm not saying it's like a
There goes your
non-issue, but, you know.
there goes your social status. There's a black mark on your name for the rest of your life because of that.
Funny thing about that, uh, that doesn't happen as much as you think in Morocco. In Morocco, what is this?
Oh,
What
it's
type of
it's
link
the
is
weapon
this?
he was talking about.
Oh, damn! I want to see this. Yeah, continue.
Yeah, well, like, okay, in Morocco, yeah, whatever. But I'm
Yeah,
just saying, if something like that happens to you
I mean,
personally,
I believe you, bro. It is an
you're
issue. But what I mean
you,
is, by non-issue, I don't mean like stuff that doesn't matter. I mean stuff that isn't such a big deal unless you make it. Because the claims like these do in fact happen so much that you can call bullshit. But just like with the whole racist thing and black cops and stuff, and cops shooting niggas in the face or something, it isn't really an issue unless you make it political. At least in our side of the country. Because
Well,
for us,
what's
I think these
that's the
things
whole
kind
thing
of.
of Shield Hero. They made it political because of everything that's happening.
Mm,
yeah.
And
yeah,
same thing happened with Goblin Slayer, with the
yeah,
rapes in
that's
Goblin
the
Slayer.
thing. Because there's
Same
the
thing.
thing about it, and what made me laugh. In the manga, it's just like one sentence and then completely move on. But in the anime, because people see more of the anime than the manga, they just have to have it on the news, have to make it the next best thing to talk about. Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
I
I
stopped kind of caring about these things and just call them non-issues from now on. I mean, the funny thing about that is this is double standard because on one hand, it makes me seem like I don't give a fuck and kind of makes me seem like I'm racist or something. But on the other, the reason why I don't care is because anyone with self-respect, right, and kind of sees what this bullshit for what it is, understands that these are not really issues if you
Well,
just
here's the
think about it
problem.
logically,
The exact
you know?
problem is that the issues
Uh-huh.
have become politicized, which means that
Exactly.
now you have to deal with
They,
them as political
yeah,
issues.
you have to. You
True.
have to do it. Deal with that now. You can't just say, "Oh, it doesn't matter anyway."
Because
No, it
otherwise,
does.
I
they
never.
are
Yeah, yeah.
uncontested and they'll just win the political
Keep going.
fight. Yeah.
You guys have a
It's
different system than ours. For us, it's
it's
a little bit more of
well, that's because you're too busy with goats raping people. You don't give a shit about anything else. You just care about the
facts.
goats.
Facts. All right. But no, I'm just showing you about the
It's
guys.
like
Here's the thing. See, for us, right? The thing about this stuff and political statements in general, right? is that unlike the US, where whenever it becomes an issue that you need to talk about, for us, we kind of see it in a logical way. Like, hey, a man got accused of falsely raping someone. Okay, let's hear both sides of the story. The woman is, because here's the thing, a lot of it is in anime form where everyone's tripping and just lying straight out their ass. Meaning, if you can get someone who can think logically, everything goes to shit. You know what I mean? So that's
But
what I
that's
mean
like
when
a
I say,
court system, though.
yeah,
That right there is just like a court system where
mm,
your only defense is be like, I didn't do it, and like, where's the proof? She's saying you
yeah,
did,
true. But
and
here's
it's
the
been
thing.
documented that the courts do favor females' testimony over
Yeah,
males.
it's surprisingly not in ours, actually. For us, it's actually more neutral. This is the thing where I keep saying it's not an issue. Because originally, right, whenever I face problems like these, I think in my court system. And in ours, like I said, we handle these things logically. What that basically means is that whenever we hear any issue, right, doesn't fucking matter. You see, here's the main difference of why we half the time don't give a shit and why people in the political spectrum of the US care a bit too goddamn much in the wrong way is that for us, whenever something like this happens, let's say a cop shoots a black man or a woman falsely accuses someone of rape, we always, and I mean always, hear both sides immediately and then logic it out. But for you guys, you keep having this thing where if a woman causes rape, you go for her defense first, and if a black man gets shot, you blame the cop first. You know what I mean? That's the main difference. Because when you take it in that way, of course it's going to be a little more unfair. But for us, we kind of hear both sides, and if you hear it from like the shield hero's perspective, where she's just pulling this out of her ass, and he tries to like be sincere, we would automatically side with the guy and make this again a non-issue.
Well,
But
I
I don't
think
know, maybe it's a bit too
Really?
lenient on our side. But yeah, who
I
knows?
think the issue here is that in the West, there is a tradition among socialists of class warfare, which has become more popular in not necessarily socialist circles, but particularly in the feminist tradition. And therefore, we have the whole issue with intersectionality and social justice, uh,
That's even worse.
where victims are being favored not because they have been
Nigga, this weapon is
victimized
lit. What is
directly,
this?
but because of historical victimhood. And I think that that's really spells the death of justice, really.
Actually, that's very interesting. Because the funny thing about that, right, is that remember what I told you last time where I see things all kind of as equally and don't give a shit about race and color, right? Last time I'm talking to one else. That's the same kind of logic that we do in the courtroom, where unlike in the US, right, we don't care about your race and gender or fucking way you sexualize yourself, whether you're gay, bisexual, transgender, whatever, right? So whenever we get an issue like this, we kind of follow it on both sides being equal, despite the fact that that's not the case. You know what I mean? But in there, if you are like, let's say, in a minority, right? You kind of get either treated worse or first because sometimes that's what happens when the whole white people thing. Sometimes people get that white privilege and they get like scot free while the black guy gets imprisoned, or backwards because you're being racist, you automatically are designated the bad
So
guy.
wait,
Black
you
people,
actually think there's
yeah, what up?
is it
What up?
white privilege or is it rich privilege? There's a bit of a
It's
difference between the two.
um to be honest, I don't know much because, as far as I'm concerned, it kind of seems like a mixture of both. Because whenever I hear about these cases, they always go one of three ways: either automatically one side wins without ever hearing the other side, kind of like with these rape charges, right? Or like custody when it comes to children, right? The one automatically gets the kid, and the man is deadbeat dad who dips, right? Or it takes the completely other side, where because you are a minority, you get treated with favorism, and that guy loses the case because either you're a minor or transgender or something like that, because you're quote unquote brave for opening up. People treat you like more favorably than the other normal man for some weird reason. I don't know. It kind of seems a bit weird that you keep making up what is it called? Kind of like new ways to favor people because in our side we treat everyone in a well, I don't know. It's called kind of the same as social standing, where we treat everyone as middle class. That way, we make it so that no one is higher up than anyone else, while also no one being
Sounds
lower
like
than anyone.
socialist propaganda.
Maybe, but I don't know. I mean, to be honest, it depends on the case. But in every case I've seen and have been in the Morocco, actually, let's continue with that goat situation, that story when I was a part of the case. So after those guys, right, got hit in the back with the goat, right, and started yelling rape and shit and ran away. Guess what happened afterwards? It was really funny. They showed up to, I think, the police, the sheriff, right. Here's the funny part about the sheriffs in this city. Okay, we care about the details and not about the culprits, if you catch my drift, you know what I mean? So when they were talking, they did that white man thing where they were just speaking racist, misogynistic bullshit. They were basically, the females were tripping and just started blaming Morocco for shit, right? And then I showed up because I was actually at the doctor next to him for my legs. Yeah, I was right next to the goddamn niggas. I stood in and literally bitch slapped one of the girls. No, that's how I not, didn't get charged. But yeah, I smacked him and told him to stop being
Okay.
racist. And then I talked to the sheriff in Arabic for explaining the situation. Apparently, the white girls, right? Because one of their friend got damaged, they started to do that thing that most people
Okay,
try to do when they're broke.
let's
What?
get back
What up?
onto the issue though.
Which one?
Okay, the particular issue
Jesus.
of where this is coming from and how this is affecting the legal system. Um,
Oh, you mean the court system?
yeah, but
Yeah,
I
sure.
think
Continue.
that in this idea that you were talking about on how in Morocco they want to treat everyone as if they're the same class in society, I
Yeah,
think that not necessarily has to do with socialism so much as it might have to do with monarchs in a reaction against socialism probably want to prevent class warfare because that would
true.
be
That's actually true. It's a very
disadvantageous.
peaceful nation and prefer to keep it that way. So yeah, that might be the case. That and also for us, the main difference is that unlike people who are entitled and the whole white privilege thing, we prefer it, right? Even if you are in a higher social standing, that we either revoke that from you or make it so that it's not a factor that affects the case. Because remember, you want to make it fair. So you don't want anyone because they're like of royal blood or something like that, or related to a famous person or a celebrity, to kind of get like the short end of the stick because they have lawyers that can just weasel their way out of it. So for us, we always keep it kind of 50-50. That gives the right to the normal common man, right? To be able to kind of sue higher up people, even though they aren't in the same social standing. It's kind of flawed because that means anybody can just, like I said, accuse you of bullshit and completely destroy your social life and your celebrityism. But yeah, at the same time, this really helps
But I
because it
think
ensures that people in higher up power, like
ultimately
celebrities, don't get away with as much shit as they do in the US. Yeah, what
ultimately
up?
the premise for the accusations of um, institutional racism and a premise for uh, the for intersectionality is the collectivization of qualities that are considered to be identitarian qualities. So, with, for example, race, where you have the idea that because one person or a group of people had been oppressed by particular other people, instead of saying that those particular individuals are the oppressors, they say that the entire race is the oppressors. Therefore, the race has a guilt that needs to be made up for. And we see this in a number of different organizations. For example, there's La Raza, which is,
Universities
yeah,
as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
La Raza is an organization among Mexicans that uh, are in favor of a Hispanic race taking back lands that Mexico had lost to the United States. Um, that's one example. Yeah, but definitely universities. For some
Yeah.
reason, it's very popular for professors in a lot of universities to take Marxist viewpoints or intersectional viewpoints.
Yeah, I don't know why. I'd like to ask them one day.
Yeah, and I really wonder how that came to be
It would have been from their teachers.
I
because
agree. It's kind of a generational thing with us too. That
It would
every
have
kind of
been.
social standing that the old people had, they teach to the newer generation so that they quote unquote don't fuck it up like they did. Instead, they just hear the same thing about war and start it all over again. Yeah, we do have that as well.
It would be their lecturers who were studying Marxism as well and pass that down.
yes, which is very interesting that this is probably a complete opposite position from that of the original universities, which were the Western scholastic system, of course, arises from monasticism.
All I know is that um, it's happening there. It's going to be happening everywhere else soon. We have a lot of people coming out of university now. I mean, they're going to go and do the same thing. They're going to just pass that along, those same Marxist viewpoints.
Yeah,
And that's what's going to happen. And
and
you try to challenge them in their viewpoints, and they're like, bigot, bigot. I'm like, dude, come on.
Can I ask you guys something real quick?
What's that?
Yeah, whatever. I actually wanted to ask whether or not, right, different sides of the country have different rules and laws
What do you
than the
mean?
others. Like,
What do you mean?
basically, how in some sides of the states, right, bestiality is legal while the others aren't, and same with incest and other
That's
things.
well, okay. So you got federal law, you got state law. Federal law says it's legal, illegal. State law says some parts are legal.
Interesting. It's
yeah,
actually kind of unique, and
Not
I
really. It's
don't
not
think we
unique.
have.
Every Western civilization has federal and state law. Everything that came from Greece, Rome, England
yes,
has.
some
Interesting. I've
countries are
never
more
heard it in
centralized than
our side.
others, but yeah, it really depends on how decentralized the country is in regards to federalization or devolution. Um,
I mean, if you follow the federal, you got federal, which is the highest, and you got
yeah,
state.
yeah. Germany also
States
has
can.
that.
Yeah, Germany has that. Most European countries have that. Most Western civilizations have that. England, Australia, France. Um, Germany, as you said, America,
Russia,
majority of Russia probably does. I'm not too sure.
yeah, Russia's a federation.
Yeah, but do they have federal and state laws?
Yes, they do. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, there's the
Well,
Jewish autonomous oblast.
yeah, I don't know much about Russian government, but yeah, most of the Western countries all have that federal and state laws.
Yeah,
Thanks. That's good info.
it's a lot easier to manage because
Yeah,
having
federal just take care of it
yeah
all, and states go by themselves.
yeah having one size fits all policies also doesn't really work very well with large countries.
Yeah, different states have different values, different agricultural needs. Well, you know, like take Australia, Queensland and Western Australia. It's basically all mining. You wouldn't put the same things needed for mining in Victoria where there's no mining.
Yeah,
So states go by different states.
yeah. Also, the people in different states might have different interests and
Yeah,
different social ideas, such as some individuals prefer to pay a lot in taxes for social programs. Some individuals don't. So
and then
yeah,
sometimes that goes to federal as well. So it's like take Denmark for instance. Is Denmark where you have to pay 50 or 60% of your tax, like 50 or 6% of your income goes to universal healthcare.
It's quite a bit.
Yeah. And people are like, yeah, okay, free healthcare. It's a good thing. Everyone should kind of have that, I think. But at the same time, um, it's a lot of money. Like 50 to 60% of your income goes to tax to pay for everyone else's hospital bill.
Yeah, that's why I think it should be decentralized, so that people can have a choice whether or not they should live
Well,
in that.
well, if you don't do that, then you have to go private health insurance, don't you? That's what they should be doing. If you can afford private health insurance, you should be getting private health insurance. And that takes less strain off the public sector.
Well, if you take private health insurance and you can afford to do that, you're probably also already paying taxes for the public health insurance as well. So you'd be
Yeah.
paying a lot more for health in general.
Well, what am I? What if you did this? If you went private health insurance, you get taxed less because you're putting
So you get a
that
tax credit or
you
something.
get tax credit or a tax break because you're taking the load. The company, so the company still gets taxed
Yeah,
because it's a company making money.
yeah. In the U.S., we would
But
call that a non-refundable tax credit, where
yeah,
you get taxed less, but you don't actually get a bonus if you, let's say, have a return.
yeah. So what if you did that instead? If you're like, okay, people can afford private health insurance, go on that, you get a tax break or bonus credit. You don't pay tax, but you're paying the company that pays tax, and then that will take the load off public health sector.
Yeah, it would. I think that is a workable system. Yes, but of
But
course, yeah,
because I live in Australia, and Australia has public health. The main differences between public and private health is you go on a waiting list and you go to a just different hospital. If I broke my arm, because I got private health insurance, if I broke my arm, in 10 minutes time I could, or not broke my arm, say if I did something bad, like I need surgery, in 10 minutes time I could go to my private hospital, get my surgery, and I'll be out. If I was in public, you'd be waiting like 3 weeks, 4 weeks if you can, depending on your severity.
yeah. In when I was in Italy, there's situations where you can go to the emergency room and it'll take an hour till the doctor sees you.
Mm.
Yeah,
And then you got people go to emergencies now because they don't want to go to a GP because GPs cost too much money. GPs as general practitioner,
yeah,
because it costs a lot of money. It's about
yes,
100. Last time I went, it was like $110 for an hour consulting. Less than an hour, it was like $110. So people are flooding emergency room because they don't pay anything there because it's emergency, and it goes in the public health sector. And people go there, oh, I got a headache, and they give them tablets and a script instead of going to see their GP. They do that because they don't want to pay the $110.
So I think the system needs to be set up so that people can use it when they need it, but that they don't take advantage of it.
That's what it should be. It should be there for the people who, you know, are down. It's the same thing with the dole, and the dole is just,
Can I add something to this?
yeah, go for it.
Great. That's actually a pretty good system, and one thing should be added on is the Disability Act. It's slightly different here than over there, right? Where in here, right, we don't have that. What's it called? Make a Wish Foundation, right? We don't have those, but what we do have is exactly like what you
Make
said
a
is like tax
make a
credit
wish
or something like it.
Make a Wish Foundation's a charity. It's
True.
basically worldwide.
Weird. We never heard of it over here. That's weird. Even though we have a lot of disabled people and people dying of
See,
cancer. But all right. Okay. So, like I said, what was I talking about? Yeah. the disability thing. Okay, we have something similar to that, to the tax reduction thing or tax dollars thing
Well,
we're talking about, right?
you just told me that
Yeah, what up?
um, there is Make-A-Wish Foundation in Morocco.
Yeah, it's an alternative. There is no Make a Wish Foundation. We don't have something like that. But
I
what
just
we
looked
do,
on Google and it's there.
wait, nigga, word? Hold on, give me that link. I haven't even heard of it yet. I thought it was only in the US. I've never heard of any one of
No,
them,
you
even
got
though I have
Make-A-Wish,
some
you got
disabled cousins.
Make-A-Wish almost in every single country.
Weird. Well, maybe it's not politically
See, Ambassador of
newsworthy in
Saudi,
here.
Ambassador of Saudi Arabia and Morocco attend Make-A-Wish event alongside Pakistan, India, Malaysia, and it's a charity. You can't exactly stop that from any country.
True, but yeah, no, never.
It's not a
Maybe North
government.
Korea.
Maybe North Korea.
You
Maybe,
and your
maybe
North
North Korea. You
Koreans.
can't have
I
that.
still don't get what that has to do with anything. That's why I keep calling you a Nazi,
It's
man.
let's see. In
All right,
over
yeah.
50 countries, Make-A-Wish Foundation is there.
Hmm. Well, that's news to me. Thanks. That should help me a lot in the next 2 years. Yeah. Thanks.
I'm pretty sure that's for
So
kids that are dying, dude. I'm pretty sure that whole Make-A-Wish thing is for kids that are dying.
yeah, kids are dying of very serious illnesses.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
Make a Wish
I think
Foundation
it's
is
for
not a
kids.
research institute. It's
Yeah, I know. I know.
It's
I
not.
know
It's
what it
to give.
is. I just don't didn't know it was here. You know what I mean? I have some family and friends who might need it. You know, so I might write to them. Who knows? Yeah. Thanks for that. So what I was adding to the conversation a little earlier was the disability act because we have something here, right? It's similar to the tax thing that you talked about earlier, where you get tax credit, but in here we kind of get 80% reduction on medical bills if you are disabled. You don't necessarily need to tell them of what, you just need to be disabled. And you will get like 80% reduction rate and also about 50% medical reduction on consumables, like pills and shit. What I do like about it more than anything else is that they don't discriminate about the severity of the situation because some could be for life, some could be man-made, and some could be accidental, the disabilities. So the funny thing about it is that besides the 80% reduction rate, depending on what type of surgeries you might need, they could be free,
well,
which
I
could save you millions of
yeah,
dollars.
I think one problem that
Yeah.
occurred in the U.S. In regards to public health insurance was that the way it was set up, people were forced to purchase it, um, which meant that if you were not health insured, even if you, in theory, could pay out of your own pocket, you would have to pay a fine.
Yeah,
And
Oh
that's
yeah,
just
you told me about
that's like
that
Georgia,
earlier.
Atlanta has that.
it's the whole country. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, because I used to do taxes, and people would come
Used to
in.
do taxes. That's the statement. You don't do your taxes?
Well, no, I used to be a tax professional, is what I'm saying.
Oh, damn, that's actually pretty good. I thought you
Yes.
stopped paying your taxes. It just made me laugh
So
because I
people
wouldn't
would
be surprised.
show up, and they're and it would just cause a massive problem with the Affordable Care Act. It increased the workload that you had to do for taxes significantly, because what a tax preparer would have to do is you would have to police the people who want to pay their taxes to make sure they had or did not have health insurance. So you had to really ask a lot of questions to really investigate them as to whether or not they had health insurance because the law required it.
Sounds
Yeah.
like an easily breakable rule.
I'm looking at something quite interesting here. 70% of Moroccans with disabilities are illiterate.
Yeah, about
90,
that.
94% of Moroccans are economically inactive.
Wow.
Yeah, about. I can tell you why.
1.7 million citizens has diabetes, about disability is about 5.1% of the total population. 70% are illiterate and 94.7% are economically inactive.
Does Morocco have oil?
I'm not about to
Because
release all
otherwise,
the
I
secrets.
don't know how that would work.
Yeah, what up?
Fucking hell. How? How is this
Uh,
country still going?
you want to know the true secret of the Vikings? I'll tell you, fam. All right, here's the thing. The main reason why a lot of them are illiterate, right, is mainly because most of them, right, are born in the countryside, right, where there's not that much schooling. A lot of them have to literally climb mountainsides to get to the schools, right? So a lot of children either don't get the proper education or they get one of those things where it's a lot like child labor, except not with slavery attached, where you just work at home to fix up your home situation. All the females work at the house and become housewives, and all the guys work, the laboring thing where you cut trees, you do deliveries, you get paid quarters to fucking carry shit for people. Yeah, it's kind of bad, but that's mainly because a lot of it is poverty stricken.
So,
Not as
so what
much
you're
as you
saying
think, but way higher than you
is
think.
that
What?
a lot
What
of
up?
them are economically active, but they're mostly subsistence.
Yeah, that's what it
Kind of,
sounds like.
yes. Kind of, yes. Except
Jesus
most of it is
Christ.
less by choice and more like by just dumb luck. This is why I said when I was gonna live in this country, I made sure to live in the countryside. Because in here, even though we don't have huge skyscrapers, $1 million businesses and shit like that, as long as you have a decent understanding of how the world works, you can make a pretty decent living. Here's the thing. Unlike the US, okay, we don't have stuff like $1 million tax rate or some shit like that. And stuff doesn't cost nearly as much as it does like in the US. You can literally buy a house for less than $1,000. Okay, so yeah, it's not that bad to get money here. It's pretty easy if you just put in the work, and you don't need to spend much to live. So it's kind of easy, but
50,
hard at the same time. What
50,
up?
50 Moroccan dollars is $5 United States.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you're telling me that you can buy a
Actually, we
house
don't
there.
use dollars, we use quarters. It's like the
Well,
10%
it
Well, they
says
use
thing.
a
Moroccan
dirham.
AD.
Yeah, that's what the quarters are.
Yeah,
I
I
just
know.
say
I'm just
quarters
saying.
because that's what it is in English. So, yeah. So, like I said, a lot of stuff are very cheap because, like $50 is $5 here. So, of course, we're not going to tell you to pay us 5 mil just to get a house. So, yeah. That and a lot of it's kind of lenient when it comes to buying land, buying and selling it. It's kind of weird because funny thing is a lot of it, like a lot of land in the countryside, gets sold out of desperation because they can't afford it,
I'm looking
because
at the
remember a lot
statistics
of us.
here. Morocco
Yeah.
has the sixth largest GDP in Africa, but most people, the vast majority, are not do not have a regular employment. So,
Yeah, actually I
what does
have
that
a
say
reason
about the
for
rest
that.
of Africa?
Yeah, I have a reason for that. You see, here's the main difference. The main difference is that a lot of shit like work is not optional and is kind of forced, similar with taxes and the whole free healthcare bullshit. Here's the thing. Unlike in the US, okay, you can't work unless you're 18. It's like a law thing. You need to be of age to get any kind of work,
Well, the
which
U.S.
is
also
Hold on.
has child labor
Can you
laws.
say that again? Can, can
what?
you can you tell me that again, please? Would you just say
Okay.
you can't work unless you're 18?
Well,
Did you
hear me
just say
out to
that
get
in?
yeah,
Did
hear
you
me out
say
to
in
get the
America?
full.
No, that's bullshit because in America you can start work when you're 16.
Yeah, well, hear me out to get full context on this. All right, like I said, you can't work unless you're 18, right? Uh,
16.
Well, well, for you guys, for us in Morocco, you have to be 18. You got to get your, ID card, your credit card, and then you can start working. But before it, fuck no, nigga, you ain't getting shit. All right, so here's the thing. Because a lot of it is farm work, okay, we have a lot of child style labor. But the difference is a lot of it is out of necessity because it's the whole classic run of the mill home, lower class style, where the family's barely able to survive, the children have nothing, no school, no food.
I
So
figured
they
it
have
out.
to work to eat. You know what I mean? So they work for their meals in a way, except without slavery, thank God. But the main work ethic is that you need college degrees for literally every job. Unlike in the US, we don't have, what is it called? You know, those jobs that are under the table, they just pay in cash, right? We don't have those. Instead, what we have is just businesses that either you invest in or you start your damn self. You just need to be either 18 or have a master's degree in something like company making or electricity, you know, like an electrician like I have, and stuff like that to start your own company and business. But besides those, fuck no, you ain't working. You know what I mean? This is what I mean when they say it's forced, but you can't choose whether or not it's forced on you. Meaning, based on the situation, you have to work when you're young to afford food to eat, you know? But at the same time, you're forced to not work even if you wanted to, unless you become a legal adult. That's why most of us, after, just like in the US, after we graduate, we literally, just like in the US, have no job security and no funding because we're forced to finish college before we can even think about starting a business. While at the same time, because we can't work part-time jobs, we can't have any like foundation of our own and any of our
So
own
you
houses.
so
Yeah,
you
what up?
can't do
Yeah,
any trades.
it's a shitty system. Yeah, I actually got hit hard with it when my passion, right, for YouTube became obvious to the people around me. Where I was like, hey, I want to make something like this, be entertaining, make some funny videos. Well, because I was making it before I became 18, a lot of them were like, no, you can't start anything, not even YouTube, unless you're 18 first. It's kind of like a law, except less strictly forbidden and more like frowned upon to make money before you're 18 because they keep believing. What the fuck have you sent me, my
Oh no,
nigga?
I
All right.
was just looking at the GDP distribution for different industries of Morocco.
Yeah, that's actually good info. By the way, let's play some games. So yeah, I'll continue with the story. So like I said, because of that, right? Because it's kind of frowned upon, it's kind of a shitty system because the main reason why it's frowned upon to work when you're 18 is because most of the people that live in the country are old folk and they kind of find it kind of sad that you see children who have to work to eat rather than go to school and be kind of efficiently funded. We kind of feel sad for them because we can't just give them money to live off of. So we force them to go to school and get an education first. That's kind of the way it works. We want you to get education, so we make it free or very cheap, where the whole thing is you only have to pay the entrance fee to enter school, middle school and high school. It's only like $10. And as long as you have a guardian, they could just pay for you and you can go get your education. But that's the thing. We make it super cheap and free, and we give you the meals in schools, but we are also forcing you to go there first before you can make any kind of money or social standing first. That's the thing. It's like we're trying to breed businessmen. We're forcing you to get good and get educated first before you even have the right to attempt to make a business. Yeah, that's the problem. We don't have any under the table jobs, so none of us can physically make any cash beforehand. That's why our social standing when it comes to college is similar to you guys, except for different reasons. For us, we don't have college debt because the college pays for our food its damn self, and we just pay back by giving it a good reputation. That's it. So we don't have college debt, but what we do have is zero fucking cents for
So
business
then
because we're bred
who
to have
pays
one.
for your teachers?
What? Oh, the
Who
government. They
pays?
get paid, except here's the difference. Unlike yours, they aren't underpaid. In fact, they're overpaid. But that's only because our form of payment is a lot less.
Yes,
We
but
don't go to a business and say, hey,
Be-
I make
90
35K
more
a
than
month.
90%
Hey,
of your country probably isn't paying taxes.
That's what I'm looking at right now.
yeah, same. That's actually why I was weirded out by the tax thing. I don't pay it. None of my family pays it. But
So
here's the
how
weird.
is if like 90% of your country does not pay taxes, how the hell is that government still supporting schools?
I'm looking at the
Yeah,
tree map for the
that's the
economy,
tricky
and
part.
oil isn't on there.
Yeah, I told
Yeah.
you, fam.
So I'm
HR is
wondering
Massachusetts.
how does the government get all this money?
Um, okay, to tell you the truth, we're a lot like a Viking society where the only way we live is off of our own sweat, blood, and tears. And that's real. Because this is the reason why you see these such high numbers of people not paying taxes and people not having jobs and being illiterate. Because that's what we focus on. not being these things, but try to make these things the least of our problems. You know what I mean? So, like I said, literally look up Moroccan children and schooling system, and you will see that 90% of them don't even get to go to school, literally, and just work off handwork. No, seriously, I know a lot of my family members that grew up farmers, and when I asked them why, they said because our family was so poor that I literally had to grow into the business, and I had no choice. And they're also, yes, also illiterate. So yeah, I mean, I'm middle class, which means that I get the schools, but I also don't have to pay my taxes. But at the same time, I have to contribute, the military and stuff like that.
It does
But at
have
the same
a
time, thanks to the Disability Act, I can physically not pay for any of my medication.
it
I
does
can
have
just
a
get it because, yeah, what up?
progressive income tax system.
Hmm.
So I suppose the rich do pay a lot.
Kind of, yeah. But that's only because they, unlike in the US, they can't like strong arm us, you know what I mean? So the rich can't, do that whole nobility thing where they talk down to the poor because the poor make up like 90% of the fucking workforce for both the military and the goddamn farmland. So yeah, the it's kind of both. It's kind of ironic because both the poor people and the rich people are poor and rich at the same time because the poor people own 90% of the land while like owning 0% of the cash while all the rich people own all the cash and pay all the taxes but own literally nothing besides their title, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like that. To be honest, I'm also surprised that the country
Highest
have moved
corporate
on
tax
with
rate
this law.
is 37% for leasing
That's
companies.
nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I told you, man. We are way poorer than this. You know what I mean? So we don't pay as much. It's kind of the same as the what is it called? The graph, supply and
37%
demand.
is not even what Amazon pays. 37% was going to be Amazon in the third year in New York City.
Kind of. Like I said, it's like supply and demand. Because our demands aren't really expensive, you don't really need to pay us that much. It's actually the thing that I got intrigued of when I was talking to Anavultus a little while ago about the whole whether or not your country is forcing you to tip people in businesses, like tipping. Because
well,
for us, we don't
tipping
tip.
isn't forced.
Well,
See,
I've heard that
in
in some places it kind of is because they require that type of money to live. So if you don't
in
give
a,
it to them, they will literally die. It's
in
like,
Aus-
yeah, what up?
in Australia, usually don't tip. Like the
Because
waiters don't. You don't. The only time you tip in Australia is, if you really want to.
yeah,
There's
same,
no tipping included on the bill.
In,
yeah,
in in the U.S., they're allowed to pay individuals below minimum wage if they have an expectation that they will be tipped.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's the
there's
thing
no
that we
expectation of
try
tipping in Australia.
Yeah,
because just like in Australia, we don't tip in here. In fact, it's kind of a gesture
But
of goodwill that you tip
highest
people, but only
individual
if you want
tax
to.
rate in Morocco is 38%.
So
that's
not that much. Like I said, it depends on what type of cash you're kind of analyzing. Whether you're putting this like 37% on the higher up or the lower down. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of like taxes and kind of like tipping. There's no such thing for us. There's no tip 20%,
how
tip
much
30%.
does,
We just
say
tip
in
you ten
Morocco,
dollars at most, and the meal is $2. No, seriously, we sometimes the people that tip you 500%,
Okay, allow him to
not
speak.
26. Yeah, what up?
um, yeah, I was gonna say, how much is the hourly rate for a
In Morocco?
waiter in Morocco?
A lot higher than the US. This is one of the reasons why we don't tip. Because here's the thing: making the meals,
No, no.
right?
What is the actual
Takes
number?
What's
oh
the
the
actual
actual
number?
number.
If you
I
were
don't
to
know
apply
specifically
for a job,
because
what
some people.
what would you be able to get?
I would say high minimum wage,
Yes,
really high wages.
but
Like
what
okay,
is
I'll
Ballpark
give you
figure.
I'll give
Ballpark
you
figure.
a figure from the top of my head. Okay, if let's say minimum wage is $10, okay, then what you would actually get paid in Morocco is $30 an hour, so like something like that.
in the
What?
Moroccan
Hold
currency?
on.
Yeah, Yeah,
Okay.
3 times as much as in the US. But the difference is, like I said, the food production and the goddamn costs are way less. This is why they can afford to pay you way more. In fact, minimum wage for us is like $50 and shit. You know what I mean? Unlike for yours, where it's like 10% or $2 or something. Because in here, like I said, you can make 5-star meals with less than $1. Because unlike in the US, we don't have something like a dollar menu in McDonald's. Instead,
In
everything is for like $1 or $2. So rather than having a dollar menu and then a menu that says $50 for some fucking crab or something, no, the crab costs $10. Something like a double cheeseburger with fries and an extra shake, at most $2, maybe 2.5. And when
Morocco's
they give you 50 fucking bucks straight up. Like they will pay you 5 times as much as they ate in damn selves, which is actually kind of nice. I do that sometimes to people and they really thank me because some of them are sad to say actually do need the money, just like in the US, because they
So
need to live. But the difference is they need it because they have 5 or 6 children that they need to feed.
okay,
Unlike in
so
the US where it's just part-time jobs.
Morocco's Morocco's minimum wage is 209 euros per month.
209 euros. That's
Per month.
about $2,030.
2,513 euros a year. That's
255.
fuck all.
Okay, a euro is $1,
apparently,
so it's like
I'm looking at the exchange
$255,000.
rate. It's about 1 to 10. $1 is about 10 Moroccan dirham.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's like $1.10 basically. So to be honest, they're getting paid 250,000 euros a year. That's actually
No,
pretty good.
not 250,000, 2,513.
Oh, 2,500 because that's actually pretty good.
That's
Because
about
that's a quarter of a billion
$250
dollars.
in
200,
US dollar.
no, no, that's actually way higher for us. 250 quarter. Wait,
That's the exchange
250
rate.
euros, right?
It's
250
two.
euros, right?
If it's
No.
2,500, it's 250 US dollars.
No, no, wait. Tell me the euro number.
Which one? Per month
Uh,
or per year?
The per month, per month.
Per month, $209 or 209 euros.
209 euros. That's about 2,900 dirhams, which is actually really decent money because, like I said, you can straight up buy a house for that goddamn amount. So
That's
let's say,
$234.86.
Are
If
you
it's 209
telling
euros.
me
yeah,
that
what up?
I could work half a year in Australia, go to Morocco, buy 8 houses, come back to Australia, work another half a year, and I'll be rich as fuck?
Kind of. Let's be real. That is where you can cheat the system. But it's way cheaper in here. We don't
Why
have
don't
the
you
thing of like getting
guys? Why
35
don't you
mil to buy a
guys?
house. You can buy
Why
it
don't
for
you
about
guys?
$250,000 at most. Yo, what up?
Why don't you guys leave Morocco for 2 years, work in the States, go back to
What do you
Morocco and
think
buy
I'm
everything?
trying to do? Nigga, if I could, I would have fucking did it and killed Anavultus first. Look, this is what I mean when I say it's bullshit for the educational system. Remember, you are forced to stay at school until you're 18 and then try to make a business.
Well,
That's the
you're
thing.
forced to go to school till you're 16. So
For us, it's 18, my nigga. That's what I'm complaining about. If we could have had it until 16, I could have just done it, right? And by this point, I would have been in the US for 3 years. You know what I mean? Like I said, that's the problem. The main reason why most people don't go outside the country, work, come back, and make millions is because they can't. Most of us are forced to stay to school until 18. And because of that one fact, just like in the US, we have no business security. You know what I mean? Most of us, just like in the US, we don't have no college degrees, nor do we have any kind of business we want to make outside the States. Remember, 50% of us are farmers. The other 50% make small businesses like a store owner or a coffee shop maker or a 5-star restaurant, Gordon Ramsay looking ass nigga. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. Like I said, if I could, I would have legitimately left when I was 16 straight up. I don't even need a fucking passport. I would have just dipped and then went to the US. Even if I worked at fucking Walmart, I would have just worked for $10 a month, made like at most $200,000, came back, bought 10 houses, and just made a business or an entrepreneurship or whatever the fuck they call it, just putting up hotel rooms. Not even lying. Because especially with motherfucking tourists, because it's so cheap, you can literally rent a house for like $10, like or less, like literally a whole month for like $10. So just by doing that and charging the U.S. people what they were normally expecting in the U.S., like a couple, like $500 for a month or something like that, right? Just by charging 50 times as much as the normal people are charged, I would have made millions, my nigga. Not even lying about that. That's why I'm salty with the YouTube thing. I could have made it 3 years ago and made at least something. Now, well, it's not that big of a deal. Hell, that's actually the whole problem with me. You know, the main reason whenever I talk to Anavultus and some homies about like whether or not why I'm still doing YouTube and why I don't have no job yet is because, like I said, I couldn't make it. If I could, I would have literally had a job by this point. But the
Have you
main problem
noticed?
is one very, very specific issue. It's the master's degree system. We have here what is called the master's degree system. If you don't know what the system means, it means, like I said before, you aren't allowed to get a job unless you get a master's degree, which means like 4 years of fucking college at a certain business. You either make one of four things. My sister did medical degree, so she can be legally a doctor or a nurse. My cousins did entrepreneurship, which were basically because some of us, right, they took my idea of being interlingual and learned Spanish, so they
Wait,
have
so when you
Arabic,
say you need a
Spanish, and
master's
English,
degree,
and
do you
became
mean that you need a
tourists.
master's degree for
Coffee making?
for just
No,
a cheap
kind of,
job,
yeah.
or
Like I said, there aren't no jobs for under the table. You can't just go to a nigga, say, "Hey, I want to work at your shop. I'm only 10," and he'll say yes. If he says that, he's fucking fired by tomorrow.
well, no,
Like I said,
today, all right, today, would you be
today,
able to go out and get a job, just a minimum wage job,
no,
without a
no,
master's degree?
no.
No.
Like I said, nigga, you can't. Physically impossible because they just like with a huge ass Sony, Microsoft, Samsung businesses, they fucking require you to have like a portfolio that says 5 years of college, highest degrees, fucking straight A's and everything to work.
So are
Like I
you
said,
telling me
50%
like
of us are farmers. So to prove yourself that you aren't just a farmer, you need high grades. Like not even necessarily the highest. You just need a master's degree in something to work.
All right.
Also, the main reason is that unlike the U.S., we don't
All
really
right.
have
Hold on.
coffee
Hold
shops.
on.
We don't like
that's
have those types of businesses. We literally have either
Hold on.
a high-end
that is the
skyscraper business
worst.
or something else. What
That
up?
is the worst. The worst thing you
Tell
could
me
ever
about it.
do for a fucking country.
Tell me about
Same
it, my
thing's
nigga.
happening in India.
Yeah, but
What?
India's got a
Again,
caste system.
tell me about it, man. I've been complaining about the system, but guess what the real problem is? The problem is that the old folks agree with the system because to them, they need their grandchildren to be like fucking master's degree in arts and craft or some shit to get a job. That's the main problem because for us, the general public believes that because of all the poverty and shit, if you're gonna have a job, it better be fucking good. You know what I mean? This is why I don't have it under the table jobs. We don't want our well, this is me, this is the fucking idiots. They quote unquote, and I quote, I've got this from my fucking family members. We do not want our children to work at fucking Walmart for $2 a month. This is what they think. For $2 a month. We want you to get a master's degree, go to Spain, get a fucking Samsung or NASA degree and work there for 10 years. Come back, get a wife, give her ass some sugar. I don't know why they love sugar so much, but that's what they say. Give her ass some sugar, make 7 kids, and put them in Harvard. That is by far the shittiest thing I've ever heard my entire life, and that's all the old people say. Literally, everyone I've ever met,
So
that's all they say.
that's the Moroccan dream.
Yeah, Rocket Dream. No, I'm not lying. With that fact for fact, what they say. They say, go to Spain, get a job at NASA. They need you basically, just like in US, be something very fucking expensive and inspirational, not just go to Walmart. And the stupidest thing is the whole marriage thing, because they do force
But
you to
doesn't
marry.
that mean that
Yeah, what
people
up?
will essentially, if they want to just leave the country to get a job, doesn't that mean that your country will never improve?
Yeah, let's be real. It's stale for like years. That's actually here's the sad part. I figured out this ever since I started making YouTube videos because for me, there's not that many jobs outside the country or jobs like these where you can be international. So when I saw all these kids and these teenagers making YouTube videos, making some actual money, even just through AdSense, and wanted to make it, as soon as I came up with the idea and talked to with family members and business people in the U.S., every one of them said the same thing. This isn't a business. You can't have it until you're a legal adult, and you need to go get yourself a real job and work at NASA. I'm not even lying. This is literally all they said. And it's kind of sad because like it's one of those things where I can't blame them. Because look at the state of the country. More than 80% of us are fucking farmers at this point, and every other person is either just doing that thing where it's like a dead end job that barely pays the bills just to live because contrary popular belief, unlike the US, a lot of families here have over 10 or more children in poverty in hundreds of families. So they really do need the money. It's kind of like preaching or something. Yeah, but like for real, this is a big issue. The sad part is that the king, he's trying his hardest, but unless he just wakes up, completely fucking changes this law, then nothing's gonna change. And everyone who is working, they do the same thing where they're out of hope. All the children just work because that's what their family tells them to do. Every teenager just goes to school because that's what the family wants. Every college student just has to do the same thing like in US. Get good grades because either that or Walmart. Every old person or grandma and grandpa are either dead or already one foot in the grave, so they just wait for their children to make something out of themselves. And all the parents, they're already fucking retired. So what do you expect from them to do? To go and just yell at the government to change
So
the
so do
system?
do parents in Morocco retire at an early age?
Kind of, yes. It depends on the kids. Like that's the sad part. It depends on the kids. Because if your kids do what you fucking expect them to do and get a job at NASA, you retire at fucking 30 and just
So you
you
just get
retire.
your kids to pay for your retirement.
Kind of, yeah. That's the sad part. Because for us, like I said, a lot of us are kind of
All right,
overworked
hold
and
on.
underappreciated.
This
Because
is this
yeah,
is
what
getting
up?
too much. That's
Yeah, getting too real, man. Getting too lit.
no, it's not getting too real. It's getting too ridiculous.
Yeah, this is the sad part about it, and
And
that's
it's
the
like
legitimate
2 o'clock
truth.
in the morning for me, and this is
Uh,
getting
it's
ridiculous.
4. It's 4 for me. It's 4 in the evening.
Yeah, but he's in
Yeah, what?
Australia.
Yeah, I know. I know. I just told him my time zone. That's all. So if he ever wants to join up again by next week, he can at an earlier time if he wants. Who knows?
Yeah,
So hit up
that's
the squad, my
sounds
nigga.
like a fucking hellhole. Why do people stay there for? I don't get it.
You want to know the truth? It's the same thing with school. None of us can do anything about it. Like I said, this is the sad part. Most of us
Because they're too
can't.
poor to leave. That's why.
Yes,
So they're
literally,
basically
most of us
you're basically indentured servants.
kind of, yes. But here's
Except
the
nobody
sad.
works, so it's not even that.
Nobody work. Nobody
Yeah,
works, and nobody's paying taxes. But then somehow stuff
yeah,
is
I
getting
know.
done.
Yeah, but
I
who
don't get
knows,
that.
my nigga? All right, look, what, all I can say is three things, okay? Number one, the king is a fucking badass who can strong arm all the fucking higher ups to pay their taxes and give us all their money, which actually something that's good. That's a plus. Little
Wait. So
pros, okay?
you get
That's
money from the
pros and
government?
cons. Yeah, the government pays a lot of our shit.
Okay.
Like
I
every
see
business owner
where the issue
has
is.
high money, pays it. Here's the thing: because minimum wage, or more accurately, minimum living requirements are so low, if you make millions, then just like with billionaires, offering like 1% of your monthly allowance is not that big of a deal. But for us, it is because you can literally pay us millions of dollars. So that's what they do. They go to rich people, say, "Hey, you have lots of money. Can you afford a little bit for the poverty-stricken places? Why the fuck not?" They're like, sure, Gucci, the king says it, it's kind of a law. I don't lose anything and gain a lot of popularity. Fuck it, why not? And a lot of workforce because a lot of them are willing to work just for pennies. So they pay and sign checks and just pay their taxes. In fact, that's kind of how it works with the taxes. If you're poor, you don't pay it because you can't. Unlike in the US, we don't force you to pay it even if you can't. But if you can, we tax the shit out of you
Well,
because
no,
yeah, the only
in the
can
U.S.
are like
there's such a thing as
yeah. What,
exemptions. Most of the poorest people in the U.S. don't pay taxes.
that's actually good. I thought they were forced to pay it, just like with the whole free healthcare. All right, that's actually kind of good.
No,
So
not in
like
the
I said,
US.
the king strong arms most people to pay. Like he strong arms them the correct way. Well, rather than just having a political battle, he just
Wait,
gives
hold
them
on.
the real shit. You know, he just says,
He
"Hey,
strong arms a company the correct way.
yeah."
It's an
So
authoritarian
strong.
regime.
Yeah, I know that.
Here's the thing. What I mean by strong arm, I mean he kind of does the whole princely thing where he talks to them, soothes them, says, "Hey, I have a good country, nice workers. They're poor. Could you spare some bucks?" I mean, he
And
doesn't
then,
beg.
but
He just kind
hold
of
on.
swindles them
He's
into giving
like,
us some of their cash. You know?
so he's like, oh, I have good slaves. They're good workers. They
No,
produce
nigga,
food
that.
for me to eat.
Well, actually, that's the sad part. It kind of sounds like
No,
that the more we
they're
think about
bribing
it.
him to
But no,
open up a market to them.
Yeah, that's what I'm
yeah,
saying. That's
kind of.
what he's trying to do, but it's not working.
Actually, kind of is. But let's
How is
not.
it working when like 90% of your people can't even work or pay tax?
Because everyone who can either figured out the flaws in our city and dipped, or got lucky and got on a plane and went to fucking any other country. You know, the whole immigration thing of Muslims and shit. Just dipped, just yeeted right out of the country. Uh, yeah, but here's the thing with the workforce. What I mean by strong arm him in the right way, I mean he doesn't like force them to pay us. He just kind of gives them the facts. He's like, listen, your niggas got too much money. My niggas got no money. I'm making some rules. Want to invest? That's literally how you strong arm the right way by kind of playing to their egos and not forcing anything to come out or being too political. He just kind of makes it a business. Yo, I got some workers. They need cash. That's the sad part because no one can complain about it. Because all the old and fucking poor people, what are they going to do? Complain about free work? No, because as far as they know, the only other alternative is die of polio. You know, so what do you think they're gonna do? So yeah, that's the sad part.
But doesn't that
But
mean that all these corporations are going to slowly just pull out the wealth of a country and all the best and brightest people are leaving the country as well? So
yes,
the
yes,
country
that's
is
actually
just going to get worse over time?
yes and no. Here's the problem. It's one of those situations, right? Where if
I
you, it's
think
like the
it's a yes or
Matrix. If you wake up from the system and understand how broken it is, you dip and you don't tell anyone. This is why, yes, you're not wrong. It's probably going to get worse. But the sad part about it is that it's like one of those things where it's no fault of its own. It's just that everyone who knows either dips or just doesn't tell anyone else, so they can't fix it. You know what I mean? So this is what I mean when I say YouTube thing. I've gotten so inspired by other people dipping their own country and just taking risks. And I'm like, hey, if this works as a business, I will literally leave tomorrow. Not even lying. I'm telling you this
Well,
right now. The only
I would
reason
love
I'll
to
come back to
continue
my
talking
country
to
is
you
either to
guys,
visit
but I
family
gotta get
or to
like,
invest.
Wait,
That's it. Yeah, what up?
I was just saying that I'd love to continue talking to you guys, but I gotta get some sleep because
all
it's
Yeah,
two
right.
go
o'clock.
get your sleep. I think this ain't Ramadan. You ain't gonna stay up until 3. So yeah, I'll see
Uh,
you later.
Catch you all.
Yeah, have a nice
Bye.
day.
Too.
Okay, it's kind of awkward now.
Not really.
No, he's still in the call.
Oh,
Oh, there he
yeah,
goes. There, no, he's gone. Okay. Whew.
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, this is actually one of the reasons why I wanted to leave to the U.S. You know, here's the thing. It's kind of stagnating. You know, sorry, I've been ages since you Skype. Yes, it's all cool, fam. All right. So like I said, uh, it's one of those things where it's stagnating, where everyone in between is either already dying, so they just kind of stay in the country, and everyone who's smart either just leaves it or does the same thing as the king and just reaps it for its benefits, which are no tax rates, low businesses can literally get a fucking whole 5-star hotel for $10 and just do that. You know what I mean? This is why a lot of us, right, do online businesses, where as long as you make $100 an hour, you're literally lit for the next 2 years. So that's actually what I'm trying to do. It's just that YouTube isn't working that much because I can't get a job to invest in it. I can't hire editors. I can't do anything because I'm forced to either spend the next 4 years working at a random master's that I don't even want as a business, or fucking leave. Like, or hope to get enough money to get a plane ticket. And the sad part is, I've accepted it. I accepted that fact. So that's what I'm doing. Either one of two things. Either I'm gonna leave if I can, or I'm just gonna make some small business.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Gucci having this nigga. He was lit, you know. So, like I said, that's literally what it is. That's
Okay.
kind of the sad truth about it, is that it's a fucked up situation. But because I'm not personally affected that much by it, I can't be like sad or anything for it, Because I'm happy that I'm middle class because I don't get as much poverty stricken as the others. But unlike the higher ups, I don't have the free will to kind of just, hey, let's go to the US. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But and here's the bigger problem of this situation. My fellow family members are also middle class, and the thing with middle class is that they act a lot like noblemen, where if this isn't an issue for you, then you don't really need to waste brain cells trying to either fix it or complain about it, because it'll just make you sad. It's like feeling sorry for poor people. Unless you have a way to fix it, which, let's be real, none of us do, then why feel sad about it? That's kind of the thing. They desensitize themselves from it. No, seriously. I've met a couple of old people last night who were begging for food. And the sad part was, I really wanted to help them, but couldn't because I couldn't afford to buy more food for them. And even if I could, what am I going to fucking do? Buy 5 steak dinner? I can't afford it. And anything else than that isn't even a meal. So they'll just go hungry after 30 minutes of eating some small snacks for like 2 quarters. So, what can you do, man? What can you do?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the good and bad of a no tax system. No one gets forced to pay more than they do, but because no one gets paid anything good, they can't afford to buy anything luxurious or like a plane ticket. Which is funny because the more I talk about this, the more I think that that's literally what I'm going to do as soon as I get a job. Buy a plane ticket is the first thing, dip to the US, just congregate with some roommate for 2 years, get some Walmart money, come back, invest in a company or something, and fucking make millions. Sad part is, I know some family members who did that, and it fucking worked
Yeah.
because it's so cheap that literally, just like with the cake, you could just straight up buy some workers for $10 a month. You know, literally. Because for us, while yes, we do get paid more than other people's version of minimum wage, but when their when your minimum wage is $10 an hour and ours is five, well, 50, but like five is the highest amount of money because you don't need that much to live unless you really are poor. Then I can just afford to pay them $5 and no one will complain because they're like, why the fuck do we complain? We got food on the table. We don't need any more money. That's the thing with countryside. Unlike the US, we don't want luxuries because there's no use for it. Instead, all we want is just decent living expense, some at least decent food, and we'll be indebted to you just like slaves forever. So, who
Okay.
knows, man? It's kind of getting sadder and sadder, but like kind of more hopeful because when you think about it, that's all I need. Just a plane ticket and I'm Gucci, you know? Who knows? I'll see what I can do. But I might visit you actually for real. Because I'm not lying when I say the first thing I'm going to do when I get a job is buy a plane ticket and leave. Because at least in the US, I could work under the table jobs. I could work
Well,
at something like a
I would
gas
say
station
that
and other places at the same
you
time.
shouldn't go under
What?
the table. What you should do is you should get a work visa or something.
True, I actually kind of have one because they kind of give you both as soon as you're 18. Because that's the thing. By restricting you until you're 18 to get work, they guarantee you a work visa as soon as you turn it. But like again, unless you're gonna work at a high end place, then they won't give you one because again, they expect you to work at fucking NASA.
But
Let's
what?
just say the country is riding on you and they have high expectations of you, just like with the royal parents. They expect a lot of you because if you don't succeed, they really are just fucked.
But
So
then
yeah,
from a work visa, you can get a green card.
what's a
Okay.
green card?
It's a step up from having a visa to get into a country. With a green card, you are allowed to be a resident of the country, and you so unlike a work visa which is temporary, a green card you can have that in a long term. And then from a green card you can get naturalized, which means you can become a citizen.
Hmm. It's actually pretty decent. I might do that. I'll do that. The sad part about it is that this conversation that we're having, right?
Yeah.
90% of my country relates so hard to this, but at the same time, 90% of it can barely dream of making something like this. I don't mean YouTube videos. Well, that, and I mean like actually achieving a work visa. Because that's the thing with living in the countryside. There's so little work and so little like investment in anything. But again, like I said, most of us are farmers. This is one of the reasons why it's so impossible because just like in the US, a lot of us literally have no work ideas or even ideas for the future to begin with. So we're like, okay, and like here's the thing. If I go right now to family members and tell them, hey, I will give you a plane ticket to go to a different country to work right fucking now, no questions asked. Guess what their top three questions are going to be?
What?
Their first question would be, why didn't you use it? Because to us, it's like, if you had that miracle, fucking use it on yourself first, my nigga. Why waste it? And number two is, even if you have it, what would you actually work? Because just like with most people when they get into college, they have no clue about the independent life. You know what I mean? Despite the fact that where everyone in the Morocco is actually fairly well built because they work with farm work, in any social standing. So they're like pretty much well built and kind of survive on their own just off of bread. But like none of them have any sense of business. We're like that American dream thing where you just go to the US and dream of making a business. Well, at the same time, the third question would be if I can we go together? Because like we kind of stick together like Mormons do, and we're like, we always try to rely on each other, but that's the sad part. The more we rely on our country and each other, the less we actually are independent. That's the sad part. This is why I'm literally asking you, can I do under the table work? Because no one will tell you any of this. Because not only does not that many people know, everyone who does know either doesn't share their secrets because they're just like with business, they're such simple ideas that if you have them, you already have $1 million in your brain anyway. So yeah, you just need to execute, which is the sad part. No one can. Getting sad as fuck, my boy. Let's play something.
Okay.
I'm almost about to cry for real, bro. Getting too real, too deep.
Okay. Um what do you want to
Realized a
play?
little bit more about myself than I wanted today, but I don't know. I'll still thank you for it, I guess. Uh, I don't know. We want to play a little game
Um
because we do like to talk about political stuff, but like we also get bored real fast. So
well, you get bored real fast, but I
what you like
it's
our conversation?
speak for yourself, man. I'm a political boy.
Political boy.
Yeah, boy.
Real. You
Yeah.
goddamn. I don't know. I kind of get. I'm kind of halfway between crying right now, so I know you pick something. This kind of hit way too close to home that I wanted it to, bro. The
Way too
preaching.
close. Well, it's
Yeah,
not my fault. I wasn't going to talk about Morocco, and then he started going in on the questions about Morocco,
yeah.
and
And that was kind of getting too comfortable and just talking about. But to be honest, it's a good way to vent because I've actually been keeping stuff like this for years, inside my heart, just like, you know. So yeah, what can you do? I mean, it's a sad fact about life. It's just you don't know whether or not it's a good or bad thing. Because it's like if it really is that easy, then it's really great. All you need is a visa and you're okay. But just like with slavery, it's such a bad fucking way of life. That sad part is that when you realize that 90% of my country is probably, yes, gonna be poverty stricken forever or die either slaves or just non workers.
Yeah.
Some people could say I don't know what I'm talking about. Others could relate. As for me, I'm just kind of slowly face palming right now. Because, like, a lot of this, again, you don't know. No one knows unless they work or go to look for it. So, other people might think they're already really great until they realize just how fucked up their life economy actually is. Just like with the US, they think they're number one and center of the universe until they find out that their education system is so fucking broken that just like with us, 90% of the people have no work after college, has become deadbeat dads,
Yeah.
which is funny because I relate. Like that's one thing we could both relate on. You know, I'm literally crying right now on the inside. On the inside, it's pretty sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna go make some gay quotes, but nope. All the gayness just got sucked right out of me. No fun. No one could have any more fun.
No fun.
Podcast is getting sad.
No fun. No
Yeah.
fun allowed. No Moon Man. No none of that craziness. No fun.
Yep.
Yeah, speaking about Moon
Good
Man,
man. Yep.
I'm just gonna say that there are some things that we are not allowed to say, um, and
Should I ask you a question real quick? Uh,
yeah,
I'll give you a semi hypothetical question. The reason it's semi is because it's going to actually happen. It just depends on your answers. But if I were to get enough money
yeah,
to get a plane ticket, which by the way is not that much because the adherence the plane tickets are like at most maybe $300 to go all the way to the U.S. All right. But again, it's not that it's difficult; I just can't have a job yet. So I'm forced to wait 4 more years because again, you can't have money unless you have a master's in anything. That's the sad part. While it is inclusive, that all you need is a master's, and it doesn't matter at what. The problem is that either way you need to spend 4 years learning something. You're probably going to learn really quickly that you don't care about. Uh, if I made enough money to dip the country and go to the US, how hard do you think it's going to be for me to make a living there?
okay.
Being
So
so accustomed to manual labor and stuff being so like not expensive because I've heard about the US's way of paying taxes and shit, and it's a lot higher than I expected. Because again, in here, not only do you not pay taxes, but living expenses are so cheap that it's laughable. But in the US, you actually need like thousands and thousands of dollars to buy a house. And coming from a guy who all you need is $10 to live, it's going to be impossible for me to get. So,
yes, the cost of living is high in the U.S., but when it concerns taxes, um, generally speaking, if your minimum wage, uh, you don't have a lot of taxes to pay. Um, and
and
but of course,
actually, one of
if
the
you are a
problems,
foreign resident, it's going to be more complicated. So you probably will have to report on taxes, even if you don't have any taxes that you need to pay.
yeah,
Um,
but that's the sad part
I'd
is
have
that
to remind myself on the rules of that. But
yeah,
in order to get into the U.S. as a foreigner, what you would have to do is you would need to find a job in the U.S. first,
which
and
is probably difficult.
and
Like, high paid one is probably difficult. But I mean, I have a master's, but like, unless that's also all you really need in the US to get a job, then no, I literally have no experience other than just manual labor.
do
That's
you
the
have
thing.
a degree?
Yeah, I have like three.
Okay, yeah.
Well,
Then you should be able to get somebody
I
to
have
give you a
one
job.
in electricity. I have a couple. I have one in programming that I'm going to get by the end of the year, and I also have like I think a master's in something. It depends. It just depends on whether or not I'm willing to spend another 2 years
But
to
the
get
real
it.
question is, are you going to be able to find someone who is specifically willing to let you get a job in their company and move to the
Yeah,
US instead of hiring somebody who's already in the US.
yeah, that's the thing about that is
Yeah.
that remember it's a really high risky thing because while yes, it's very cheap to get from here to the US, it's not going to be easy the other way around. And just like with poverty stricken, and this is one of the reasons why a lot of us can't work and can't be successful because you really got to risk a lot to be able to get out of the like the matrix or the country to take a chance and work outside of it. Because if it doesn't succeed, then it's just like when you were back here, just poor, no work, no one willing to give you any work, and either and the worst part is that it's way more expensive than in Morocco. So there's even less of a chance for you to escape. You're just gonna be stuck there,
Yeah.
dying of work, like work overload, just to barely make enough money to even pay taxes that before you didn't even have to. Now you're forced to. That's the sad part, and that's what I wanted to talk about.
Eh,
Because that's the thing when I talked about with my family. They're like, "Hey, if you can't afford it, go." They even encouraged me to
Yeah.
dip,
But
but they were like,
the immigration
"Yeah,
process has become a lot more difficult than it used to
yeah, I
be.
know."
So
That's
now
the
it might be
sad part.
several years before you can even set foot in the country. Uh,
Who knows? I might just go to
okay, here
Spain
here
like
it
that guy.
says. I'm reading the U.S. Embassy and Consulate in Morocco website, where it says immigrant visas to the United States are processed for citizens and residents of Morocco at the U.S. Consulate General in Casablanca.
Casablanca, I know that one.
Yeah, to apply for an immigrant visa, a foreign citizen seeking to immigrate generally must be sponsored by a U.S. citizen or lawful permanent uh, resident, immediate relatives, or prospective U.S. employer, and have an approved petition before applying for an immigrant visa. The sponsor begins the process by filing a petition on the foreign citizen's behalf with U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. You may wish to review. Okay, that's visa categories. Okay, once it has been approved, you have completed pre-processing with a national visa center, or if you have been selected in the diversity visa lottery, or and completed processing with the Kentucky Consular Center. I don't know why it's a Kentucky Consular Center. Review the
Who
instructions given
knows?
to you by the NBC or the KCC, along with the information presented on this website for further guidance and instruction. So you probably don't have any relatives in the U.S., so it'll have to be an
Nope.
employment based visa.
Fuck. Because here's the thing about the employment one. We're very like highly recommended, right? To work outside the country because a lot of us do have very like popular and really good like master's degrees, right? But
Yeah,
like unless you are willing to sacrifice 4 years of your life to learn something you don't care about but forced to care about because it's how the work system works here, right? Then no, most of us don't have anything to show for it because it's a lot like college where you are forced to work afterwards because it's either that or poverty. But a lot of us, just like the people in college, are so disinterested by the limited selection that we either just turn our brain off like we did in middle school and just force ourselves through the year or don't. You know what I mean? That's the sad part. There's literally the equivalent of no free will, you know? So
yeah,
yeah, who knows, man? I mean, I don't know, bro. I'm kind of losing more and more faith while gaining more and more faith. It's weird
yeah.
because I'm like, technically this is easy, but also bullshit at the same time. Because when you realize how broken it really is, you just start face palming at your own existence, which is what I'm doing right now. Yay!
Okay, let's see. I'm trying to look up how fast Moroccans usually can immigrate in the
Get,
U.S.
get, yeah, and get employed. It's probably pretty fast depending on what you have, but
Uh,
because that's
certain
what I heard
countries
from
it can
other
take a
people.
decade.
Yeah, that's what I heard from other family members and other people. Some of them really did just immigrate real fucking fast because they had masters in like electricity or programming, like I'm gonna get, or stuff like that. But I don't know. I mean, here's the sad part about this. is that it's not even difficult. It's just sad. Like that's what my family says. They said it's not even difficult because unlike in the U.S., schooling here is not only fucking the equivalent of free, but also very easy to get into. You don't even need a college degree to get into university. You just say, "Hey, I want to fucking learn," and they're like, "Oh my god, the kid wants to learn." Yes, go. Here you go, child. Take this. That's what their mindset in the schooling system for us. They will literally get you free entries to the fucking universities. So it's not even difficult. It's just that it's sad because you have to resort to going to not only a school that you don't care about, but you're like forced to immigrate or like convert yourself to caring about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they said. They said, "Look, bro, it ain't even gay. It ain't even difficult. It ain't
Okay.
even hard.
For
Just go to school, get a master's, and you're out." But at the same time, it's sad because I'm not willing to do that.
yeah.
I'm willing to do anything to get out, but not sacrifice 4 years of my life to something I don't even care about just because, you know?
For a visit to the U.S., if it's less than 90 days, you only need a passport and you don't need a visa.
Hmm, not that difficult. I have kind of both, but yeah, sure, go ahead.
Yeah.
And
There you go. Uh,
you know, it's funny. I'll make sure, and I mean, I will make sure that if I were to run away, right, I will go to your house first.
why? Why my house?
Because not only are you one of the few people that know the struggle, but also one of the only people, and I literally mean one of the only like three, four people that I know outside of my own nation. So I'm like, would be very thankful for, well, not like housing me, but like be very thankful they can at least understand the struggle, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least understand that not only do I have no other choice but to visit you because you're the only motherfucker I know, but also respect the fact that I can't go back. It's like going to war torn nation. You can't go back. You've been deported, but you also can't stay here because you're an immigrant. So you would respect the fact that my nigga, I literally ain't got no choice. So
Well,
yeah,
if you choose to stay without following the legal process, I would have to
no, I
report you to ICE.
no, yeah, no, you don't get it. I will follow the legal process. What I'm referring to is that I can't dip, like I can't go back to Morocco and I can't stay there longer than 90 days. So I'm like, gotta respect the homie to at least get me out of that situation. Because here's the thing, like I said, I'm not willing to just spend 7 to 8 years getting a fucking doctor's degree or some shit. That's
Yeah.
something that I not only do not care about, but also aren't willing to do because I'm like, I ain't gonna fucking sacrifice my life and risk killing other people with my hands. Nigga, I ain't about that way. So yeah, I would respect for the homie to house me for like a week, help a homie get out of the shit, literally, you know, help a homie get a job or something, or at least a recommendation.
Yeah.
Because that's actually what I'm gonna do. As soon as I get enough money, I will just use my visa, get 90 days of work, and dip right to your fucking house.
Okay. Here. I'm looking at here.
You know, this
Uh,
this really just
let's
sounds like a
see.
plot to a
How
movie,
long? How
but
long does it take to get a green card? I'm just looking
for
at
us,
this. No, no. I'm
probably not that much.
obtaining a green card can take as long as several years, depending on your circumstances and immigration status. Uh,
Yep. So
just
either going to take me about 1 year or 10 days, depending on whether or not I use all my cards. By that
okay.
I mean to
So
use the
so
disabled
after
card,
becoming
immigrant card, and the poor man card.
after getting
What?
a green card, 5 years later, you can be eligible to apply for citizenship. Okay, green card depends on your purchase. Card will arrive within a month after your application. A variety of factors. Okay, 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 green card interviews anywhere from 4 to 10 months. Okay,
You know why I'm really happy right now
why?
and stop being sad? Because we are literally forming a plan for me to escape.
Well, I'm not forming any plan. I'm just out of interest looking at how long it would take. So
True, but let's be real. This is getting realer and realer. You know what I'm saying? Let's be realistic. If this works, I will literally do it tomorrow. Like I will gather $50, get a plane, and dip
it's
right to
not.
your
It's gonna be
house.
a lot more than $50 to get it on a plane, man.
Nigga, you have not seen Moroccan prices.
But you would have
You
to
don't
go to
even
the
know.
embassy first, to the consulate, and the embassy, in order to apply to go to the U.S. so that then you can get a green
True,
card.
true, but here's the difference. I can definitely get 90 days of like a work visa because I do have one, right? I can just use that, get to your place, stay for 90 days, come up with a plan to get my green card, and then just, use that to stay there, hang out with you for a year and a half, get enough Gucci gang money. We both go back to my place, invest in a business, get some workers, and make millions.
So you want
Definitely a plot to a movie.
to move
What?
capital from the U.S. to Morocco so that you can be really rich in Morocco.
Uh, to be honest, I just want to reverse what I'm currently on, which is forced to either work or study for 5 years just to barely make it in life. Instead, what I want to do is cheat the system. Dip, get money, get back, use the money that's the equivalent of millions in my place, right? Because the inflation rate is so goddamn low that you can just use that, buy land, which by the way you can buy right now. Just call 1-800 record fuck and we'll do anything for work and buy it. And by the way, when you buy land in here, if people invest in it, you get kind of like income tax back, and you get 80% back. And because the most people that invest are foreigners, they invest millions. So you can get hundreds of thousands of dollars off of this shit. So we can actually work this real fast
Yeah,
if you don't know.
yeah,
So yeah, we can actually use that to our advantage. You know,
yeah.
the only reason most
But
people aren't
but of
willing to
course,
invest
the,
in
the the
land
the one
is
problem is you need to find someone that can sponsor you, and I can't sponsor you because I don't have enough money to pay somebody else to do a job. So yeah,
nice. All right, I'll
so
just think
there you
about
go.
that. I'll think about getting my green card tomorrow, and then maybe, invest in it or something, or go to the government, talk about it, discuss it. Because there's the thing about the government in Morocco, you can show up and ask anything, and they'll be generally respectful and just answer your questions. You know? So
Yeah,
unlike the US, I don't need to barge into the fucking place, show them my cards and debit cards and shit, say, hey, I want immigration laws. No, they already know your rights and they'll give you extra ones if you want it. So I'll just go to the fucking police station tomorrow, ask, hey fam, can I get my green card by 2 years? They're like, okay. And then I'll just, see if I can get some work or some shit without networking. It's gonna be difficult, but if I can, I'll just work on making my computer science major, that I'm majoring in right now.
yeah.
Hopefully make some decent Gucci game money and dip right to your house.
Why my
I'm not even
house?
lying.
Why me?
Nigga, why do you keep saying you already know the answer?
It
Okay? No, that I'm not lying when I say you are literally the only friend slash person that knows my struggle and that I know outside of my own country. I literally don't know anyone else. You are literally my last hope, my
Well,
nigga.
guess
You know what
what?
I'm
Guess
saying?
what? I didn't need a green card or an application process to move to the U.S.
Yeah, that's because you used your Nazism on them. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
But what? How though? Because if you know a way, if we can speed this up.
the trick is you have to already be a citizen.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
then you just kind of skipped a process rather than dipped it.
yeah,
So all right, I'll see what I can do. I'm legitimately talking about this. Like I'm legitimately, you know,
yeah.
thinking about doing this because like I literally have no other choice.
By the
And I'm
way,
not kidding when it comes to the choice thing. If
the
I don't do
yeah.
this, I am literally screwed for life.
No, you're not.
So yeah.
Come on, Morocco's a
What
fine
you mean
place.
I'm not, nigga? I'm restricted to either working at a big business or poverty.
Yeah,
And I
that
mean
that's most
those
people in the
are the
world.
only two.
That's
What?
most people in the whole world have those two
True, but
choices.
here's the difference. Here's the difference. Just like with the US, you can do other types of jobs. You can even be unemployed and still make money. But in here, they are legally not allowed to give you work unless you work for a specific company. So you literally are shit out of luck. Seriously, I talked to my family members. They said there are only two types of jobs: make your own company or join an existing one. And that was literally fucking it. You know, it's like literally social media, the job, where the only way to make money is to either make your own yourself known or join an already well-known business. That's literally it. Because besides those two things, not only does no one know your struggle, but no one gives a shit because they have their own. So you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm fucked if I don't do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. By the way, the video
No,
that I sent you, you're not allowed to talk about it on the stream. If you talk about it directly, you can talk about it indirectly. But yeah,
oh yeah, I know what you mean.
yeah. Just on the latest Moonman trends.
Yeah, he just sent me some shrimp hentai. Yes.
No, it's not hentai. I would
I
not.
know. I just like the
I would
flavor.
never send
It's
you
for fun.
hentai.
Always send me hentai. Let's be real. Always send me the creepiest ones as well. You know, just like with Moon Man.
Moonman. Moonman is not hentai.
It can be. Anything can exist in the internet if you wanted to.
Yeah, you.
These niggas are playing some Mexican music.
It's what you
I
say.
mean, let's be real. This conversation has kind of derailed to pure sadness, but I enjoy our talks, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
because it like helps us communicate and better our lives for real. Because if you weren't my friend and I couldn't talk to you, I would literally be stuck here forever. It's like Wakanda. You can't fucking leave, and no one can come in here and help you. You're fucked, literally. So the only way to do it is to overtake the king, which ain't gonna work. So yeah, better luck next time. Yep, this is kind of sad, but
Yeah,
true. You can't do anything about it for the
yeah.
most part.
I made a video where
Yeah, about
I
what?
I went on the YouTube trending tab and
Yeah,
I just pooped all over it.
how?
Not literally, of course, but I just went video by video that YouTube had on trending, and I gave each one a reason why it's bad, and that's what I did.
Just gave it a reason why it sucks. Okay,
Yeah.
that's one way to do it. All right, and what happened? Did it
I don't know yet.
explode on the inside? You don't know
The
yet.
reason I did that though is because what I can do then is I can put all the tags for all the trending stuff on my video, and it won't be false advertising because it's all on there.
It's actually a neat trick.
Yeah. Don't do
Good
it
for
though
you.
because otherwise I'll have competition and
Why not have competition? I'm pretty sure based on our conversation, I need it more than you. You know, like if I don't make decent cash, I'm out, or killed by next week. It's like the mafia or some shit in this situation. You're literally Gucci gagged unless you make money.
yeah, yeah. But if okay, get this. If I can actually make money, then I can
Yeah,
sponsor you.
great, you do that. But because I do in fact need it.
Yeah, because if you're making money, eh,
Yeah.
okay, if you're the one who makes the money off of this, what happens then is that I can't sponsor you because I'm not making money.
Sounds like a greedy business plan or a contract. I can't help you make money unless I'm the one making the money. You can't make money directly. You need to give me your money so I can make you money. That's
That
what you're saying, and it's funny.
no,
It's
no,
really
that's
funny
that's how
because
it
it sounds
works.
like a greedy business plan or
That's
something a
literally how it
businessman would
works.
say.
That's literally how
Oh,
it works.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
literally how it was. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. I'm the mastermind behind it. You know, people talk about big businessmen. They talk about J.P. Morgan. They talk about the
Taylor
Monopoly
Swift,
Man. And you know
not
what?
Monopoly.
I
Mr.
I'm
Monopoly.
I am the Monopoly man. I have a mustache.
Wait, you have a mustache?
Yeah,
Did not know that. Okay.
yeah. I have a beard too.
Oh, that's. Do you have any wives as well, just in case, because most people with beards and mustaches have wives.
I do not.
Do, Great, so he's single and ready to mingle. Everyone in the comment section spam liking that dick. So
Don't.
I'm just
Okay.
kidding. I'm just kidding. But seriously though, I will actually request your help if I ever need it. Can can I trust you? That's my question right
Well,
now.
yeah. If you need help, I can give you help. But no, I was when I said don't compete with me, I was memeing. I'm
Yeah,
just
I
saying
know
that.
because you
Yeah,
said it in a meme way. I know.
yeah, yeah. But I got Philip DeFranco, um, on the video,
You know
and
what's funny about
yeah,
this? You say you have all these things, yet you still have only less than 3 views. That's the sad part. For someone who has Philip DeFranco, he sure as hell doesn't have Philip DeFranco
he's on
views.
my
You
tags.
know,
So yeah,
yet you ain't getting none of his money.
that I want his money, man. He puts he puts a whole list of things that he's talking about in the title, and at the end he says and Russia, and 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 there's nothing about Russia. It's just Russia as a word, as if that's clickbait, man. Philip DeFranco taken down, clickbaiter.
But definitely makes the money.
Yeah,
I mean, if you make the money while doing the work, is it clickbait or is it monopolizing the
it's
system or
clickbait
breaking
and
the system?
monopolizing, and I'm gonna take him down.
So it works.
I'm gonna Sherman antitrust this lad harder than Benjamin Harrison in the Gilded era. Um,
The Gildan era? What?
the Gilded
What's that?
Age. It's an age in the U.S. when there were the big monopoly men were running the country.
And what? Screwing it up?
No, I think they were doing great, but then people like Benjamin Harrison came in and they did the Sherman Antitrust Act, and then Theodore Roosevelt with his antitrust trust busting and ruined it all, ruined the capitalist
Trust
dream.
busting. Wow, that's a phrase.
Yeah, he ruined capitalism. That's why Theodore Roosevelt is forever unfortunately for him, not high tier president.
Okay.
Yeah.
Weird conversation. All right. But seriously though, I do need your help. Like legitimate help.
What help do you need that I can possibly give you?
Uh a place to stay just in case I get kicked out of my own country and is forced to stay at your house.
I don't know. I can if I can do that.
Hmm. All right, I have an idea. I have an idea of what I'm gonna
You
do
do know
after.
I don't make a lot of money. You do know that.
Oh, I know
Yeah,
that.
I can't
From the way you
afford.
make 0 views, I can fucking tell. No. Here's the thing. What I don't need someone to save my life, literally. What I need is the classic thing that most people need when they are trying to get a job in a system that doesn't want them to have one. What I want is a homie to have my back. That's it. I'm not asking you for like let me live in your house or some shit like that, especially if we got a girlfriend. No, what I need, right, is that when I eventually run away from this country, okay, and go to the US, I need a homie who knows the US, at least the laws of it inside out, right?
Yeah.
That can at least guide me in a way to making it in the system. Guide me
Okay.
to at least make it
Okay. You want to know a
to
law?
where I
I'll
was
tell
when I
you the
was
law.
robbed
Okay.
the same way. What?
You're not allowed to show people your genitals in public. That's not allowed.
Uh, why? Why are you telling me that? Like I wouldn't know, nigga. What would you think? People are always naked in here, nigga.
No, no, it's just saying. I hear you say a lot of stuff. So
Uh, yeah,
yeah,
don't quote me on most of the things I say because they're kind of extreme.
yeah,
But yeah, that's what I mean by helping the homie out.
yeah.
I
Because
literally mean
otherwise, there's no way you would have known that. And
yeah.
and you would have exposed yourself and gone to prison.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah,
No, I wouldn't have done that for
yeah,
real. But like, I do mean the whole thing of help a homie out, make sure he doesn't get himself in prison or something like that. Because Marco is a lot like a prison where you can't leave and you can't stay, and it's just comfortable enough that you can't complain, but just like brainwashy enough that you swear to God you physically can't do anything, you know?
yeah.
So yeah, I'll just tell you that much. So yeah, I'll just request your help when I leave. You'll know it when you see it. But by that is me doxing your location and showing up right to your house. So yeah, but and the reason why I say this is because this is legitimately my plan for the next 2 years, which is finish my master's programming, my computer programming major, right?
Yeah.
Get the fucking master's degree, because if you have it, it's like having a fucking medal for an honorary medal from the government. It basically just means that most of the laws do not apply to you, or you get special treatment. So yeah, if I have that, then I can legally leave the country with little risk. You know, I can get my green card in less than 2 years. I'll just run away, and then I will meet you at your house. But I do need a homie to help me dodge taxes, because
I'm not gonna help you dodge taxes, but
Oh,
I'm
come
gonna.
on, man. You know I've never paid them once. Why would I start now? Or when
Okay,
I go
well,
there?
that's it. No help from me.
Wait, are you serious?
I
Because
I
here's the
am
thing.
a man of law and order.
It's not that I don't want to pay my taxes. It's just that not only are they expensive compared to Morocco, but unlike other people, I'm not well off enough to so that I can pay them. Especially when I go to a different side of the planet with nothing on me except pants, a shirt, sandals with socks, green card, and a virginity. You know, like that's literally all I have on me. You know, just dip right there, like fresh off the pot, right there with zero cash in my wallet and no idea what the fuck to do. So yeah, what do you expect me to do? You know, just go to prison, get raped? Nah, nigga, I need a homie to help me dodge my taxes. You know, help me stay undercover in his basement, where I would build a bomb for him, sell it for 2 mil on the black market, and make a name for myself. Go back to Morocco and nuke half my country.
Just saying that could mean that they might never ever let you in just because you said that.
You know I'm tripping, right? But like,
Yeah,
the sad part about it is that you can't really tell if I'm lying because again, I've never paid my taxes, so why would I start now?
yeah.
I don't know. It depends on the story. Because if I can, I'll literally dodge taxes because I'm like, bitch, I barely make enough to live anyway. Why would I be forced to pay shit that I don't care about? You know? At that point, I might as well just go back to Morocco. Yeah. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe. Who knows? If I can pay taxes but make them cheap enough that they're not that different from Morocco, like just $50 light bill and water bill and stuff like that, then yeah, I'll pay them. But if it's like 200% dollars for the military or some shit, then fuck no, these niggas can go suck dicks. I'm not doing that. So yeah, who knows? It depends. But I will literally leave in 2 years. Looking forward to it. By episode 500, I will be right there and we'll make it live for real with video cameras, and everything.
We'll do it live.
Yep, we'll do it live in the U.S. You know, where we'll just start drinking and partying all day, and then probably get arrested the next day for indecent exposure. So yeah,
Okay, wait a second. Let me
but
just do some calculation. I'm doing some quick calcs.
quick
And
calcs,
divide by. Actually, no, not divide. Multiply
multiply.
by
Yep,
7. Divide by
three.
365.
Yep, it is. Trying to
Episode
see how much.
500 is probably
So,
going to be in 9 years.
fine. All right. How about 75?
Okay,
Episode
okay.
75.
Let me see. So let's go
Episode
75
75 of that.
is going to be Less than a year.
All right. So by this point, I would have my halfway masters, which means just the first year of computer science. So we'll just add episode 75, and then we'll just leave early. How about we just leave early? That'll help us a
All right,
lot.
you have 294 days.
Yep, great. 294 days, more than enough time to get some decent money and run away. You know,
All
the
right.
more I swear to God, the more we talk about this, the more it sounds like a plot to a movie, but a pretty good movie, and a realistic one as well.
Okay. Let me just check what date that would be. Let's see. 294 days in the future. Days from
2020 when we
today
run for president. Yep.
date. What would be the date? Saturday, April 4th, 2020.
Yep. See, 2020 we'll run for president. Yep.
So April 2020.
Can call it an April Fool's joke.
Yeah, you can say April Fool's, just joking. I'm in your
That's
country and
actually
I'm gonna take
first.
your welfare.
You know what's funny? I'm pretty sure if I go to the U.S., I can get free healthcare, like immediate free healthcare. Thanks to the
It doesn't work that way.
fuck. So it isn't like our my because remember, I
The way it
am thanks to my
works,
disability, I do in fact need to take pills on the daily, and if I don't, I'll literally have a heart attack. So
the
yeah, I
way the
do in fact need
Affordable Care Act
continuous free
works
healthcare.
is that you have to apply for it, and what happens then is that they link it with certain healthcare companies that provide the service, and then they put a specific budget where there's a certain amount of money that they pay, and if they pay too much, then in the taxes you have to give it back. Um, or if they
Or
don't
they
pay
can't be
enough, then in the
generous.
taxes. But anyway, whatever happens, if you get onto healthcare, it means you have to report your taxes. Even if you don't make enough to pay taxes, you still have to report it if you get the healthcare. Um,
Actually, interesting. I'll make sure to keep that in mind when
yeah.
I immediately run away. It is kind of funny, the whole healthcare system. I'll check it out later.
All right.
Probably gonna screw it up though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I've got some things to do today, so I think we
yeah,
should
yeah.
stop about here. Uh,
I'll see you later.
yeah.
But oh, by the way, should we play a game halfway through the week or not? Because we
uh,
kind of agreed to that last week, but then we
sure.
didn't meet up at all. So anyway,
Sure. Yeah.
all right, I'll see you later.
Yeah. So thank you all for watching, and we will be seeing you all next time on this amazing podcast.
Yeah, we'll talk about less depressing shit.
Yeah, it's less
Hopefully.
depressing stuff than a conspiracy to, in a completely legal way, get someone to immigrate in a country, which I guess isn't really conspiracy
And
then.
and into your house. Yes.
Not into my house though. Um, I
No
don't know.
one's house will accept you, boys. So make sure to make some room for neighbors by next week, or by 2 years into the future. I'm not lying. I'm literally straight up building a house because there's no other houses to go. And again, it's like the Matrix. You don't know anyone outside of it, and you can't leave it. So it's not like you have any other connections to escape to.
Yeah, but you don't know where I
So,
live. So if you get a job that's far away from where I live, then you won't be able to go to my house.
but it's not like I can afford to get my own house because of poverty. So, yeah, kind of fucked because it's either go to your place or die.
Well, no, what
So,
people would
yeah,
do, what most people would do is they would get a loan.
you forgot what country I live in, right? The loan won't do shit because last time I checked, not only can I not work, but it's not like I have experience living in a different country alone with no one to rely on and family that thinks I'm dead because that's what happens when you leave. They automatically assume you fucking died. So not only do I have no emergency contacts, but if you won't help me, then I'm basically fucked. So yeah, just think about that when you sleep tonight. Yeah, just think about it. Life in your hands that is completely beaten by life itself because of the way it was dealt, and also disabled. So just think about that for a sec. The guilt trip you to help a homie out. Yeah, except not gay. That's all I have to add. So yeah, I'll see you guys later.
Yeah. And we'll be seeing you all next time. Anavultus over and out.